And I like the weird red lighting. Thank you very much. No, this
Yeah.
is if you have the lights, so this is how the Philips Hue work. If you put it on a different color, like if you put it on green, and then you
Oh, they go to that default. Okay.
yeah, if you kill the power and then turn them on, that's the default color.
I like
So,
it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
cozy.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
Yeah. There we go. And let's do. I have Jake on top of Jake. It's
A
Jake on
face
Jake
is missing.
crime.
What?
No. They're referencing because somebody else is missing. Jake on Jake crime though.
Got a dog camp? Question mark.
I mean, I can, but my dog doesn't like staying down here. If she's in this room, she wants to cuddle and get scritches the entire time. But like, it's not feasible to cuddle with your dog on a computer chair. I mean, I suppose if your dog is Percy,
I was about to say smaller
but-
dog, maybe.
I was gonna say, but then we're kind of like ruining the definition of the word dog, to incorporate cats.
Wow.
So,
Talk to yourself.
What?
I have. It's quite nice.
Wait. Are you saying that we can't call Percy a dog because he's short? So what you're saying is we can't call you a human?
I am not short, Neil. I am taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the
Sure.
tallest person on this call.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all you got?
Can we get a dedicated Percy cam? That is totally feasible. Jake, what we need you to do is to go get a laptop. We'll get you a 4K cam. We'll get a laptop. We'll set it up right there.
Yeah, like
We'll
all
have
of
the
us
fifth
are in
person on the
like
call.
all of us are in like shitty HD. It's just Percy in 4K.
Like in majesty. It's funny. There was a Percy in the extra. Your name is Peanut?
What?
I don't know.
Green. What?
I don't know. But
He's been at that Norwegian Green.
oh, I don't think that's legal there, is it?
Of course not.
Yeah, I was like,
Not legal here either, but
I was like, they have socialized medicine, but not some of that socialist medicine. So, the last time, Neil, do you want to remind us where we were last time?
we arrived back in McLean, where we on the way back we met some punk who was like trying to make Viggo feel bad about the fact that his brother was on the front line. So we called him what he was and went on our way, and he just had to take it because that's the sort of bloke he was. And then we got back to McLean. We gave our initial reports to Commander Seapel. Sorry, just inhaling some of my oral lubricant. And then I went and got my armor, and we did some general bits and bobs. Then we went to the pub, and then on the way out of the pub, there was some boys came around chatting shit, and they started on us, and so we, brained them, beat them, otherwise arrested them, killed one of them, we then, the guards conveniently took the entire time of this conflict before they arrived. They then proceeded to arrest all of the people involved. Fair enough. We told them what had happened. They proceeded to decide to arrest us. We'd done some scavenging of the bodies, and we decided that these people, due to the papers they had on them, were ex-soldiers from Yuvantia. So Peridel soldiers from Yuvantia. We decided that this needed to be told to Seapel ASAP. And so Viggo asked whether he could go and do this. And we were swiftly denied. So Viggo went invisible and left, at which point the guard who was in command of the situation decided that all three of us would be charged with resisting arrest because he understands how laws work. And Tris, being the very nice man that he is, decided that this man was not to be a liar, and so did resist arrest and broke his nose. And so we made him mostly truthful. He's yet to thank us for that, but when he goes down to heaven...
Oh, he has a chance.
When he goes to heaven, he'll probably thank us.
To be fair, though, he won't be seeing Rayrin in heaven.
Yeah.
That bastard Rayrin deserves what he gets.
Gods don't live in heaven. That's just not how they work.
Actually, gods do live in heaven. That's
No.
how they work.
No, it's not.
Check out Mount Celestia.
Okay. Is there a Mount Celestia in this game?
No.
I rest my case. And then the real ones do. Oof. That's right. You don't have real gods that you're saying, Scott. And then we proceeded to be relatively compliant, speak to CPEL. CPEL came and sorted some bits out. Tris has been charged with something or other. She tore up his promotion recommendation. But to be honest, it's not up to her whether he gets promoted anymore, because it's up to our good chum, the old Master of War from Yvonne's. Yeah. Who is now going to be who is now going to be taking command of our erstwhile squad until we have more people. And the rest weren't even considered for promotions because they're just like scum and just not good enough.
I mean, I agree with the IRL, but in game the characters are pretty decent. What was I saying? Last detail was the fact that there was what the hell was that group doing here, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
why were they here?
They were clearly from Juvencia and asking about what we were doing in Juvencia and asking about what we were doing in Juvencia.
Causing problems. So, I suppose let's get down to it. Get down to it. All right, so Steve Pearl told you that she was leaving. She's out of here. Deuces. She's got to go run a campaign out west. She has to go drown Joey's character. You know, stuff like that.
To be clear, when we say campaign, we don't mean like one of these campaigns. We mean like a naval warfare campaign.
Yeah. And Joey's playing as Erwin, which, if you guys remember Erwin from Kingmaker, well, he wears a lot of full plate armor and he's gonna go on a boat.
It wasn't Erwin like useless.
I mean,
like he chatted a lot of shit. He chatted a lot of shit about how he was like this good guy in defense of his city, and then got his impregnable walls cracked instantly, and we had to save his ass, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, the big thing about Erwin, his claim to fame, is that it's his responsibility to carry the sword until its new bearer comes to bear, I suppose. And so he has the sword, and we've already played 2 sessions. I think he's already asked twice if he could use the sword, and I'm like, no. Like, why was like your responsibility is to bring it to where it belongs? I was like, if it was something that was great religious significance, sure. And he's like, how about beating up a leader? Oh, that's so significant. Like, come on.
I mean, historically, beating up leaders has been quite religiously significant.
I mean, well, that's because religion and politics and all that, as opposed to actually significant to the faith itself. But either way,
I don't know. Christianity, like that kind of whole thing is based off some people beating up someone else.
Well, yeah.
I use beating up in the loosest of terms. Like That's some pretty harsh beating up. Don't beat people up like that.
The it's like nailing him to a cross. Have we gone too far? Like, it's like, no, I think we could use a third nail. He has 2 feet left. Like, just put it together.
Oh.
Anyways, I asked you what the requirements, because yes, exactly, Joey. All right, let's go. Let's get into the game. So where your characters left off, you had already spoken to Sea Pearl. She told you that you're going to be speaking with the Master of War sometime soon. That date wasn't specifically set, and you were I think you were completely done speaking to her. She left.
Yeah, we said thank you, and we had a bit more relaxed conversation and left, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then that kind of left you to your own devices. What you, which I believe, the first thing that you wanted to take care of, because Jake brought it up 7 times last session, was to go and find out how much you got paid.
Oh,
Yeah, but we
you
don't
were
want
supposed to
to
message us during the week.
We don't want to spend the session, going through things now, because you told us you were sending us the things and to prepare.
Oh, you totes gotta ping me to remind me of that shit.
As
soon as I hop off the call, I run upstairs and jump in the shower and go to work.
Literally the last thing we did in the session was, hey Scott, can you send us that so we don't hold up an entire session trying to figure out what we want to buy?
Well, now it's only 3,000 combined. No, so when you guys do go to investigate to see how much it was you got are getting compensated for the last task, it's actually in total. Hold on, let me do that math real quick. It's 6,000. Yeah, 6,000 coin. Again, this is through the commissary, so this is for value from there as opposed to actual coin for your pocket, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna edit the my brain just died mid-word. Commissary for just add 2K to each of our things, and then I gotta send 75 to you, Jake.
Is that 75 from the commissary amount or from like your own personal pocket?
From the commissary amount, because I don't have gold on me.
Gotcha.
Don't worry about it. You keep your.
You sure?
75. Yeah, I'm sure.
Jake's making a money engine right now. It's one of the things when you do item creation, if you design it the right way, your character becomes a money engine. Even if you're not in a campaign where you actually sell stuff to gain gold coin, you end up saving tons of money.
So the only thing I don't know about what we did with a commissary is, for some reason, the Triss has 215 in brackets. I don't know what that's for. Everything else makes sense, but I don't know what the 215 is for.
Did Triss owe you 215 because he had to make his armor?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, that's likely what it is. So I'll take that off then.
No, I think he had money left over. That's what that is.
Oh, Triss had like 1.2k, 1,200 left.
Yeah.
After the thing.
He was the only one that had money left over.
Yeah, he didn't spend his whole thing. He got the armor and then moved on.
I'm 100% because I had to get the bag and I had to borrow from you.
Yeah. I spent the most.
You're not really borrowing.
Viggo spent the next most.
The thing, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm a good lad.
Yeah, so that means you're flat. If once we remove that, you're flat 3K. There we go. That's our credit amounts. And these are mostly like just how we're dividing them up, but it's all of our funds. But yeah.
Yeah, it used to cost, as Norway mentioned in chat, It used to cost experience points to
XP to
create
craft
magic
stuff.
item,
Yeah.
which I love those rules. They made the game
It
balanced.
seems dumb.
In,
Yeah.
in Pathfinder,
I
Pathfinder, it just
understand that
changed it.
like it's more balanced. I dislike the idea of anyone being a different level of anyone else.
I mean,
That's just me as a fundamental level.
But
of
when you are creating a ridiculous amount of magic items for zero cost whatsoever,
it's not zero cost though.
it is absolutely zero cost comparatively. When you're like, oh, I'm just going to make a whole bunch of magic items to beef up my character significantly more powerful than the others, and it costs me nothing but the off time between quests and 1/2, if not less than the amount of gold pieces. That changes the character radically, because you're like, oh, you want a +2 strength? That costs you 4,000 gold. That sucks. For 4,000 gold, I got a +4 intelligence and got that much better at making more shit to make me better. You know, like
That
that's.
just sounds like the PC is a scumbag that doesn't want to like create anything for his party.
But you say that doesn't want to create anything for their party, but that means that now that character, if they're creating for the rest of the party members, they now have to dedicate a ton of their character's time on taking care of the rest of the party, while those other party members can just take care of themselves. They don't they, like, what is a fighter really going to offer to the group that a wizard can't already do 10 times better?
That sounds like a
And there you come
great
into the
way to have a
problem.
fun team game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you're using your XP, then why are you going to spend your XP to make items for others?
I mean, so again, it's about the balance mechanic of the game. So one of the things that you guys are forgetting, because you come from 5e, is in these earlier editions, wizards are
They didn't
god
have
tier.
balance.
No,
Yeah.
wizards are god tier classes. If you're a 17th level wizard, you will kill 100 17th level fighters without batting an eye. If you play it right, you will kill them without batting an eye. So you had to find balance by pulling down the wizard to keep the fighter more valuable. So by saying that the levels are off, it's okay, because the balance is already off the fucking charts.
Yeah, but it's still not. I understand what you're saying. I don't like that way of balancing things.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. My point is, when you look at Dungeons and Dragons, which was invented in the 70s, that was how it was always done.
Wait,
Up
what?
until
You
Pathfinder.
invented in the 70s, Scott?
Nope, 85.
Don't believe you.
It's okay. So that's how it was always done up until Pathfinder was the first time they got rid of the experience points to make magic items, or the XP offset done to keep wizards down. That was the first time ever, and wizards exploded. They became more powerful than they had ever been in any system prior. Then 4e came out and everybody just groaned, and then 5e came out and it fixed the balance by limiting wizards and what they can do. Like, so the concentration mechanic is what limits wizards, as opposed to the experience mechanic. But that's a different conversation.
I'm just gonna quickly refill my coffee.
Okay, you're good. He's like,
That sounds like such a good idea.
that's why I have coffee right here. This is from yesterday morning.
I just didn't expect to drink the entire cup of coffee in the first 15 minutes.
No, you're good, sir. This was roasted at 7:42 and 7 seconds in the morning yesterday. So it's already over 24 hours, almost 24 hours old.
Why do you drink old coffee so much?
Because it's there and I'm not going to throw it away.
Is it
Waste
because,
not, want not, Neil.
Is it because it makes you feel like you're still useful and viable?
Jesus Christ. Waste not, want not. You have a coffee,
Scott,
you didn't finish
Scott,
it.
I'm
finish the coffee.
26. I'm 26. In a few years, I'm going to turn 30 and you can be relentless.
I won't
It's gonna
need to.
be-
I'll be 40.
Oh! Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
That's how ages work. You don't catch up.
That's like mutual destruction, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
like, do I make jokes about him being 30? No, I'm 40.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I need a Thanos snap to let you catch up to me, you know? Like take me, Thanos, daddy. Oh,
Good damn.
oh, Jesus. All right, let's go.
I am still listening. I just blame Tash. He tempted me with coffee.
All right, so let's actually play the game. We're 28 minutes in, and I woke up at 5:45 in the morning to make sure that I was fully awake for you guys today. Um,
28 minutes is
Scott,
We're doing well.
Were you up last night? Because
I'm
pretty sure I saw you online at a point where you shouldn't have been.
no. I was awake unless I woke up in the middle of the night, which I don't recall doing. I
Ash,
fell
why are
asleep
you
around 11.
sidetracking us? 28 minutes is good. We can go. We can start.
It's 29 minutes now.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Like I did a good thing. All right, so let's go. So you guys go to check out the commissary area, and you find out that the amount that was allotted to you was 6,000 in total coin. Now remember, you don't actually get it's 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. You get 6,000 thrown into the account for your group, which I don't think you ever came up with a group name. I think we should make a Viking and V Sword should DM each other on the side and come up with a group name together. But because it's Viking and V Sword, it should probably be something along the lines of Vicious Victory, right?
There was space on our potion belts for the embroidery of the team name, but no, we hadn't thought of anything yet. It's not appeared is the problem, is it?
Yeah,
But I'm
sometimes
down.
you get
I'm
a
down
really
to have
obvious
chat.
name.
I'm down to have
and
chat.
then-
Throw some ideas out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure.
true,
I'm sure
yeah.
Norway has some great ideas as well. Like you might call it a Party of Percy, something like that. No. What's the matter, Jake? You don't think?
One of the names I remember
Percy?
that was thrown out originally that wasn't bad was
Percy's alright.
Kingfishers.
Kingfishers.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So, brain just stopped. You guys are speaking about the commissary. You find out how much you had for credits and whatnot, and you kind of like the credits. Sorry, Star Wars. For how much you have for gold coin and value, and it's like one of those like again, wow, holy crap! This is like never in your wildest dreams did you think that you would have this kind of not you, Jake, but the other two characters who think that they would have this amount of coin readily available to them and consistently. I mean, don't get me wrong. Your characters are earning it. You're putting your life on the line. But you've done jobs before where you felt as though your life was on the line. You did difficult things, so on and so forth, and you made nowhere near as much in the amount of gold, whether it be the name of Paradel or not. More importantly, I mean, were you ever really in danger this past trip? I mean, it certainly felt that way sometimes, and somebody certainly put themselves in danger.
Tesh was never in danger. I don't know what you mean.
Put themselves there.
Fireballs and lightning, they are dangerous.
But otherwise, I mean, like aside from that, if you guys just barely showed up, you probably would have still been gotten the same amount. It's one of those things that starts to play with the like any employee that's been around for a while. Well, wow, I know how much I make now. How much can I get away with?
You devious monkey, Scott.
I mean, you're a nurse. You know how it goes.
I'm not. Yeah. To be clear, that is a protected name. You need to be a registered professional.
You're a nurse, or at least you wear that outfit for me sometimes. You know how it goes. You show up to work, you're like, how many of them do I really have to take care of? How many of them can I just show up, look at a clipboard, say, 3 times, and then say the doctor will be in shortly and walk away?
We don't have clipboards.
Oh, sorry. High tech over there with your socialized medicine. So,
Yeah, it legitimately is. We have computers instead.
yeah, same over here for most places, but moving on. Yeah, exactly, Norway. So you guys go in and you find out how much you have and kind of scratch your head for a minute. What is your plan next? You know that your responsibility is to start investigating around the city to find out who this group is, so on and so forth. And you know that you're going to want to speak to the Master of War, the one that was met by Tristan before, soon. But what is your plan here for trying to find out what this group was?
I need to return to the guard house, the prison, because I need to go serve some time there. And it was quite clearly stated that I had to return after this meeting.
Yes. So, Neil Tristan puts his hands out in front of him, looks, what's his name? Viggo dead in the eye and says, "Cuff me, daddy." And then you guys are lead him back to the to the jailhouse, for him to be put into his solitary confinement for a few days' time. Now, during the few days that Neil's in there, so we don't have to listen to him talk, Tesh and Jake, what are your characters doing to start the investigation? How are you going to go about looking into this group of hooligans? Now, correct me if I'm wrong on the numbers, 6 of which attacked you, 2 of which were captured. No, 1 of which was captured, 1 of which was killed.
Two were captured, 1 was killed. Jake incapacitated 1, I tackled 1.
That's right, somebody was stabbed a bunch of times. Stop!
1 had his
Running
tendon cut.
Away! And the other one, you mud wrestled down to the ground. That's right.
Well, I
So
cheered.
3 got away. 2 I pretty critically wounded as well. So 2 of them were. It might be worth trying to, while it's still fresh, while it has been cleaned up following the blood.
The first thing I would consider, Tesh, would be interrogating the 2 that we already have, because we were told we could interrogate them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
true.
then finding out their base of operations and then trying to get the others.
That is a very good point. Touche. I will tell you,
It's been more than
I
a
am
day
terrible
at
at
this point.
interrogation.
It has been.
Yeah, well, we need.
It is.
Chris
It
to do
hasn't even been 24 hours.
Yeah, it's the next day. Tesh is correct. Like when you bring Tristan back into the prison, it's like, because of how late you guys are drinking, still like 5 to 7 hours away from when you originally got into this kerfuffle. You know what I mean? So like it was, yeah.
All of them were hurt, weren't they? I mean, we could try following blood if you want.
What we could do is I could give you Virgil, and I could go just follow the blood and leave if I see anything. And you could interrogate the dudes, because I'm useless in interrogations.
This is also like,
Yeah, well,
they may
Viggo
not
would-
have a base of operations.
They would have.
We also
probably
could do
been
the interrogation
somewhere at
first,
least,
because it
you
actually
know what I mean?
it's
And
not
they
going to
hurt,
take
they've
more
got
than an
arrests.
hour to interrogate. So
I'm so sorry. I heard everything Tesh said. Thank you, Tesh. I heard nothing
I
that Jake
apologize.
was saying. No, you're good, man. I just couldn't hear Jake at all. Go ahead, Jake.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
They
you're
were
good.
probably staying somewhere.
I probably talked over you.
They were probably staying somewhere and had and would have needed somewhere to rest because they were wounded, is what Jake said.
Yeah. So I think we could probably get away with interrogating people, because that's not going to take like an hour. So we can do that and then go follow the blood.
Yeah. The only thing being is Viggo isn't the best at interrogation either. He works well kind of with somebody else. So can we request for Tristan just to be brought up for the interrogation and then take him back down?
Awesome. So when you go to bring him down to the place, so on and so forth, and you have him getting locked up, and you're like, more or less, hey, listen, I know you got to take him, but before you lock him up, can we have him assist us in the interrogation? And the guard captain, because it's that time of day that he'd be back, is back there, and he of course has like almost like a redness and whatnot on his nose. It's like they have the adhesive bandages
can I give
that
him
you
a
put
potion of
across the
healing?
way. You possibly can. I mean, why don't we role play it out?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'll let you lead. He goes, as
his
you guys
name
walk
again?
in bringing Tristan, they never said his name before, but usually he's the captain of the guard.
All
So,
of us first.
As you guys go walk in bringing Tristan, he sees you guys coming in and goes, oh, he decided to return and not run away again.
Of course, guard Captain Paul.
Sorry.
Viggo will take out a
Her
potion of
name's
healing. And
Ringo, not Paul.
he'll extend his hand and say, for your nose.
He looks down at it
It'll-
and says,
it'll
I don't
heal the
drink on
break.
the job. What?
I said it'll heal the break.
What is
They're
it?
very good.
Potion of healing, and Viggo starts a long-winded, thing of how it works.
It's one of those
I'm just
things where
gonna-
partway through your explanation, he just kind of like, oh, okay, I get the point, you know.
And that was the point of the long-winded approach.
Yeah. So he'll actually drink the potion, and you can literally see the redness around his nose and whatnot. Go on the menu. You can feel free to roll the healing for it, there, Jake. You can see the redness and everything around his nose, like how it's just kind of inflamed and whatnot. You can see that almost immediately start to subside. You can imagine the pain immediately starts to be reduced and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'll wait to see the result. You
Makes
gave
it a
him a
little bit better.
You gave him a trash potion. So
Hey,
he
it still works,
says,
all right.
well, that does help a bit. Thanks for that.
No problem. I'm sorry that this happened.
Didn't have to.
It didn't. And you do have my apologies. Knowing what we know now and knowing what you know now, there are ex-military members that attacked current military members. And, we've been, I'm sure you've been told, granted clearance to interrogate the suspect.
You are, of course, welcome to interrogate. It was signed documents saying that would be the case.
I would like to request, if it is okay with you, if I can have Tristan in on the interrogation to then go down to his solitary confinement after it is completed.
I don't think it's entirely necessary that he's there. He has his own sentence he has to serve as the criminal he is. And it's not exactly like we want to have the people that came in, injured as they were, to suffer any further injuries. We don't need a case being built against. We don't need a defense being built up for when they see the courts.
Understand your concern. However, there is a time is of the essence, and while the other, I think it was two of them, escaped.
Three. The other three escaped.
Three. Well, half of the number escaped. It's only a matter of time until they try and possibly leave the city.
Yes, that's why I wanted a proper description of each of the. Why I wanted a proper description of each of those when I interrogated you before, so that we could start looking for them, see if they're locals, etc., etc. You say they're from Jovincia. Fair enough. If they're Manel, they can go wherever it is that they like. However, do they live here? How long have they lived here? How long ago did they serve? What are their names? These are all details that need to be known.
At least two of them are going to need medical care, and soon. I landed 2 blows on one on each of their shoulders pretty badly.
He nods. He says their wounds have been attended to. Those that
No.
those that are in
the
custody.
ones that got away.
And
Sorry,
the others.
The ones that got away.
You had given that information beforehand.
Yeah.
Once again, I request. I am not the most intimidating, he says, and he literally looks himself almost up and down. We usually have Triss lead the interrogations. Like I said, I understand your concern. Once again, time is not on our side.
I'll let you roll the
Believe it or
diplomacy
not,
check.
can I
And
add
Tesh
to
can
it?
aid. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
Tesh.
say, believe it or not, he's, and I'm deliberately saying this in a sort of like a, believe it or not, he's usually the one that keeps things from getting violent.
Tesh, you roll your aid, and Jake, you can go in.
So,
I'm really gonna read that
diplomacy?
book. Si, senor.
Come on, get over 10. That's not over 10.
All right.
This is what, oh, nice.
I hate that I can't see the die roll. Like I don't know what the physical die
Yeah,
you rolled
what's happening
is.
with the dice?
Can we like at roll 20 on like is there a fix to this? Like can somebody Google
Let me
this?
just disable, re-enable,
No,
disable,
that
re-enable.
doesn't do it. You can see your own die roll, but not
Test.
others. It's just one of those things where we'll have to. You can see your own, you just can't see ours. We
Yeah.
can't see yours. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't.
I haven't had like when I've had the spare time, I haven't thought to Google what the workaround is right now. But let's keep playing. So it's just frustrating because it impacts our own experience as
The feel,
players.
yeah.
Yeah, as
I
well
love
as the
watching
viewer.
the dice roll.
Right. Anyways, it's just dramatic. Yep, I know. VSword, the only way you can see it is if I personally type /R and then let's say it's like 3d6. The only way you'll see it is if this screen right here rolls. That's the only dice that you see. And if anybody else rolls, including my DM screen, which is right here, /R 3d6, I just saw the dice. You probably heard the dice because it happened on my screen, but because it didn't happen on this screen over here, you won't see it. Frustrating as it is. All right, back to you guys. Where were we? Sorry. You rolled a diplomacy check, DC 25. He kind of scratches his beard and he's like, his like scruff, and he's like, yeah, all right, fine. Bring him down there, have him be a part of the investigation, but then immediately he goes and he serves his time.
May I have a word with you? Just a moment.
He looks at you and is like, you could see the anger. Like he was not looking you full on before because he was trying to like, if I don't look at him, I won't get pissed. You know what I mean? But now he's like, he's clearly getting angry.
I'd had a few drinks and I had just been on the receiving end of a rather nasty stab wound. My mother would be ashamed, and as such, I am too. I'd like to extend my apologies, and I will happily serve my time. I hope that the nose heals well.
Roll your own diplomacy check. The DC is not low. It's a pain waiting for that to arrive. Without the die roll. Moving on. I just gotta keep bitching about it.
Right,
So
Neil,
actually, Neil, did you want to luck that?
Can you luck it? Can you luck it?
You want me to?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You're right back. Sorry.
Yep, he's good. So just so you guys know, the apology definitely beats the DC. You brought him last time, if you don't recall, last session from hostile to unfriendly. Yeah. And this brings him from unfriendly to indifferent, though obviously it's not going to roleplay it immediately that way. So he takes a moment and he just kind of like thinks for a moment and he goes, yeah, all right. I can't exactly sit here and say I haven't been a dumb fuck myself a couple of times. And then he
Thank you, Guard Commander.
Yeah, guard captain. And then he'll look to somebody else and say, go throw him in an interrogation room. He looks to you and says, I'll give you the one that's a little beat up first. He's up this morning, still recovering.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There is a rule though. No weapons are allowed in there. It's a law in what are you guys, McGlynn?
Understandable.
Fair. And so Gallon, fair enough. And then Gallon does the sigh and starts removing the ridiculous amounts of weapons.
Neil does a super fast recap.
Own.
Accepted your apology. You brought him from unfriendly to indifferent. And you guys are able to interrogate the injured guy first, but you're not allowed to bring weapons in. Cool. So you guys are brought into the chamber by one of the other guards. So what is it? They'll go get the other person and they'll put them in first. And then there's that whole like wait. And it's like, okay, cool. Can we go in there? And one of the guards like, hold on. Like what? They're like, no. You let them baste for a little while. Like, do you want a coffee while you're waiting?
They have coffee?
Yes, please.
It seems like it's gonna be a long night. Do you want a coffee?
Legit offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
And it's like one of those 80s movies where the coffee is like way too dark and way too thick. And like when you get to the bottom of it, it's a little sludgy. Like, you know those 80s cop films with bad coffee in it? Oh, yeah. So anyways.
I need
Got
the
some
windows to
donuts
wipe
as well.
out my pain.
But to be fair, they don't have proper filtration netting and whatnot. You know. So anyways, moving on. They give you guys some coffee.
Before we go in, Viggo will turn to you both and say, Tristan, I'd like you to lead the interrogation. However, I want to go through both of you now, the main points of what we need to find out. So we're clear in going into this, what information we need from them. I'm thinking, firstly is, maybe not firstly, but we definitely need a place where they have been residing, so we can apprehend the other 3 that escaped. And then if we can find out why they attacked us, who they work for, and then he'll look to both of you if you have any more suggestions as he's writing them down.
So, who they work for, why they attacked us, what was the first thing? It's been a long night.
Where they're located here in Midland.
And maybe
Right.
if we can't get a name of who they work for, where they get their orders. I think that's a good idea.
We can try.
Anything else?
I think that covers the main issues.
Viggo rips the page out of his notebook and hands it to Tristan, and in very big font is written everything like that we need to find out.
Focus on these.
Giant note cards, like you're at like a one of those talk shows. It's like hold up the
Tell
note cards
me.
behind the camera.
Where you're held up.
Line.
Just stick it to Gallon's back, and like every time Tristan needs a refresher, he just Gallon steps forward like that.
Yeah. Okay.
He like slams his hands on the table, bends forward, and it's there on his back. He's like, "Tell us!"
So the question here is, while you 3 are going in there to interrogate this prisoner, right? What is it you're going to be having Virgil doing?
Drilling into their brain. Virgil here will interrogate.
You know what?
him.
Actually, what I can have Virgil doing is just trying to locate the start of the blood trail. Just so it's easier once we're done with this, we can go straight to that.
That might be a little bit of a difficult thing to do because Virgil it looks like a shiny crystal, and somebody might pick him up and walk away with him again.
He's meant to have an insane stealth, but now I don't trust it. It's a plus 18 stealth.
Oh,
but now
that's-
thanks
that's
to you,
actually-
I don't trust it.
That's legit, really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's gonna be the mushrooms all over again, Tash.
I know.
Just calling it now.
Fuck it. Virgil's just in my backpack. I'm too still not recovered from him just being gone for an entire fucking part of our campaign.
You know what might be good though? If we bring them in together at some point and leave Virgil in
That's not a bad
the
idea.
room.
Have him just like stealth into the corner of the room.
So it's a crystal, you know what I mean? It could just be left on the ground or next to some books or something, you know what I mean? Hidden, but
And where's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, just like sitting in the corner, sort of thing.
Where was that?
yeah.
In
That was
we're talking about in the actual thing, the interrogation room.
Oh, well, there will be no books there, but yeah.
No, but like, so that's not a bad idea. If we will interrogate
I
them
could
both,
leave a
and
book in
then we'll get them both in together, and we'll leaving Virgil in the corner.
Yep.
Which means I might just like put a pack down in the corner when we walk in now,
Yeah.
and
just
then
leave it on
have
top.
Virgil Yeah, well, Virgil will like go next to the pack, and then I'll pick it up when I leave, and it will just Virgil will have stayed there, sort of thing.
Nope. Oh yeah, I forgot it. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
Can
That
they
makes
use
sense.
Virgil to stab each other?
That would
By
be
chance?
interesting.
Because we might not want to leave anything for them to.
Well, he'll be
I
stealth.
have the perfect idea for this. It's fine. They're just manacled to the table. This is
Yeah,
Peridot. We use
that's what I was
manacles too.
thinking anyway. So yeah, what we'll interrogate one and the other, then put them in the same room, let them stew with Virgil in the room, and then we'll go from there.
I got you, Neil.
Just amuse me that part because it's like find it on asterisk.
Yeah, it gets blocked by the auto mod.
There you go, Neil. I unbanned it so you can ban it. Okay.
What? No, what?
I unbanned it so you can ban them.
So you get to ban it.
You look sad that I took away the fun, so I wanted to give you. There you go. I got you, buddy. All right, cool. So the idea, put it in there when you leave the pack. You got to walk out with it. That way, the other person is able to go in there, so on and so forth. Cool. So let's continue. So you are Oh, not only is that really good. I don't know what your future is, V Sword. But I know you're getting married in this upcoming in 2022. I think you're getting married. If in the future after that you and hubby have kids, Massachusetts has those new laws for FMLA and parent leave, so you get to actually take advantage of those laws. I mean,
oh, congrats.
I did not get to take advantage of those.
I don't know what. Sorry.
You're good.
But I would say grats to the pay raise, but I took in nothing of what else you said, so I'm hoping grats didn't come at a bad time in the conversation.
The short version is because we live in late capitalism. When I took time off when my daughter was born, I took 21 days off, and they made me feel like I was the worst fucking human in the world. Like I was an absolute piece of shit for deigning to take time off to be with my brand new child. Whereas now, I think it's a law in Massachusetts that you get 6 weeks, a father or mother is automatic 6 weeks, no question. Mothers usually can go on FMLA anyways, which is Family Medical Leave Act. But fathers couldn't. Now I think we get automatic 6 weeks done.
That's good.
You get paid for it. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you gotta love them new laws. So either way, let's keep going. So you are going in to interrogate this person. You obviously know what they look like. You chased them down and stabbed them a bunch of times. So
is this the one that was
chased down by Jake?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep. So as you're walking in, they're in there, and honestly, they're not looking the best. Immediately when you walk in, go ahead and roll me a perception or sense motive, your choice.
Does one have a better DC than the other?
No, just different bits of information.
Okay, since they did perception, I'll do
when you walk in.
I love it. Roll a perception or sense motive. +0 or +0.
I got +12 or +11.
I'm the only person in Pathfinder with the balls to have a 0 wisdom score.
You're also the guy that one-shot a dude. Just
bonk. Go to horny jail.
I'm glad two of you did well on your different things, so I'll get to those. To button off that conversation, V-Sword, it's almost one of those things where I know this sounds fucking gross, but it's almost one of those things where you as a mom kind of hope for an emergency cesarean, because then they actually extend it from like the whatever minimum weeks it is to the full 12 or 13 weeks of what it is, because that's considered like an additional medical procedure. So then like you can go from, oh, you get this many weeks off as a new mother, to like the extra ones, which actually happened to Brittany. Rory was an emergency cesarean. So she actually got extra time off with Rory. And then even after that, we kept her out of work for a little while and then had her only go part-time. She didn't go back to work full-time until Rory was like 11 months old, not years old, obviously. But I came back after 21 days and got hazed for the next like month and a half for taking that time off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It was. I got hazed before leaving and got hazed after I left. After I came back, it was rough. But restaurant industry.
Yay, toxic masculinity.
Oh no, it was from women. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's still
almost my entire career.
That's
I've worked
still
with
part of
predominantly women.
that sort of thing. Though.
I mean, you could say that has nothing to do with masculinity, though. That has everything to
No,
do with capitalism.
Well, yes, but what I mean is the idea that like the man doesn't take that time off, sort of thing.
No, even
what I
women.
mean.
When women take time off, like a waitress takes more than 6 weeks off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely. They're like, "What the fuck's the matter with you? Like, what are
That's
you
dumb.
lazy?" Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. That's just late capitalism. That's all it is. So, I understand what you're saying, though. It is double down for guys because it's like, what do you need to be home for? And it's like, my child.
Yeah.
She's cute. You know, like, anyways, I bet Neil was an ugly baby. So when you guys go walking in there and you immediately look at the person, you can actually see
beautiful blonde hair,
you can see that Viggo.
flowing locks.
That's scary. Like, so I have my surround sound settings on at the moment, so that sounded like it was coming from like there. It scared the fuck out of me.
That was just the huntsman.
It's coming from everywhere, Dash.
Doesn't quite work like that. It's just the fact that I think the way Discord's set up, it's coming from the back for some reason, and I couldn't hear what you were saying, so I didn't know it was you. So.
Okay, so if Tesh comes to these streams with those with that kind of like headset modding, I'm gonna get one of those what are they called, ASMR microphones where it's just two ears.
Binaural.
Like
No.
No.
No, but binaural audio can be fucking terrifying, especially if you have proper surround sound.
But let's
No,
not.
no,
Let's
no,
Don't get me
focus.
wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Boys, we've barely done
Scott?
anything. Let's get focused.
Scott, binaural audio is a type of audio that replicates how your ears hear things. It's not just for ASMR.
Oh, I understand that, but we know what it's for. Nom nom.
It's actually amazing in scary games.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But in scary games, it's not somebody sitting there with two ear-shaped microphones going, which is
No,
unfortunate.
but that is how they record binaural audio.
Oh, that's fine. That's different. That's not. Never mind. Again, I didn't know this existed until a week ago, and it blew my mind. Brittany and I were looking at this like, what is that? We didn't think it was an ear at first. We thought it might be something else, and then we were like,
no.
"Oh, it's ears."
No, the ASMR it triggers anxiety for me. I can't stand it.
Oh, it's. I mean, the lockpicking lawyer
To
is
each their
very
own.
ASMR sounding. So,
it very much triggers my anxiety, and
but let's. All right, let's go. So let's go. You when you go walking in there, one of the first things Viggo notices is that this person, they don't look well. They just don't look good at all. Their skin looks a little bit placid, right? Their eyes are a bit drooped, like they haven't slept well, so on and so forth. They do not look well. I mean, it's been less than 24 hours, but they got stabbed a bunch of times, and their bandages were, of course, put onto them, but they do not look like they've had the adequate amount of sleep or whatnot that need be the case to give them rest from the amount of blood loss that they had, the amount of injury that their body, like this is a traumatic. This is the thing, if it happened in real life, you get put in the fucking ICU for a little while, right? Like you go to the emergency room, you go to the OR, you get put in the ICU for a couple of days, and then the police take you into custody. Like that's how it usually goes. But this was all done inside because, you know, when and where this is, instead of a guard station, where their bandages are taken care of. That's kind of like what you walk in and immediately notice because, you know, you're a doctor. I'm a doctor, damn it. Gallon, you walk in and you obviously notice this as well, but not to the fine detail that Viggo does. One of the things that you notice is that this person looks tired and sickly and whatnot. They kind of like look at you and they definitely have the eyes that say, oh shit. But at the same time, you get a very strong impression off of them. They're not, this isn't an act. You can tell that the exhausted that they are, the like wariness to them is not an act. They genuinely seem wary to you. Tristan walks in, he's like, I'm gonna break some knuckles. I'm gonna hurt this man, hurt him more than he already hurt me. Even though he never touched him. So Tristan walks in there with his shoulders, back and whatnot. So
Put the pack down in the corner. Let Virgil do his thing. Crawl out and sit.
as you guys go walking in there, the first thing I want you to do from each of you is to actually go ahead and roll me a bluff check. Now, understand you're not lying, right? This isn't about a lie. This is about portraying yourself the way that you want to, kind of keeping your cards hidden, if you will. Gallon, he's crystal.
You roll for me, Scott, please.
Sure. Viggo is sitting there, and he is absolutely able to hold it together. He has a deadpan stare of somebody who was raised with a silver spoon in their ass. And then for oh god, oh no, I rolled Viggo. Sorry, wrong person.
You wasted a decent roll.
Yep. And then for Tristan.
You did this, Scott. You did this.
He walks in there and he looks hungry. He looks like a hungry boy walking up to a hot
You
dog
rolled
stand.
a 4, Neil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
He walks in there and he looks like he's about to gobble this lad up. So as you guys go walking in and he looks up and he kind of like assesses the two of you, you can see that he gives a looks over of Tristan, who again is like, oh yeah. And you can just see like his shoulders slump a little and his head kind of tilts a little bit to the side. Again, he just looks tired. And again, Gallon, you're pretty sure this is genuine. How do you approach?
The first thing Viggo would do would kind of like go up to him and kind of look at him. He's like manacled to the table, right?
I mean, yes, it is one of those things where you have like the old like shipping iron eye, like we like bolted in to a heavy wooden table that's there, and the manacle chains kind of run through it and they're on them. Now to understand, these chains are kind of longer; they're not like super tight chains, so you could actually like stand up and in theory, like move around a little bit if need be. But yeah, manacled to the table.
You both hear in your head from Virgil, because I can't communicate unless Virgil's part of the suit. You hear from Virgil that I don't think he's exaggerating his exhaustion, just so you know.
So Viggo walks around him with a pen and paper in hand, more or less, a little notebook thing. He starts listing out aloud his injuries, writing them down, commenting on how it looks like infection is already starting to set in, and his body looks like it possibly might be going into sepsis, and just all that stuff. He's just like talking aloud, talking to nobody, but writing it all down while saying it.
All right, boys. You're ex-military. I'm military. Let's make this quick. If you cooperate, Viggo here can treat all your wounds. If you don't, well, you heard the list.
The only person in the room is the one that was stabbed up. Just a reminder, because you said boys with nests.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You're good. You're good. So, you want to go ahead and I understand what you are doing, Jake. You're gonna go ahead and roll an intimidate to aid Neil's intimidate. Tesh, it seems like you're not a part of that. What do you want to do? Are you just like watching? Do you want to sense motive? What do you want to do?
I'm probably going to keep sense motivating him. I just want to keep on top of what he's thinking, what he's going through, and all that stuff. Oh my god, guys!
I mean, one, you guys don't have critical failures. Two, the DC is obviously set by the situation, right? That being said, Tristan, do you want to luck your total result of an 8?
What do you guys think? How many luck?
I think luck it to stop it from being under a 10.
It's kind of atrocious, and I'm not sure how much your luck will save it, but it might stop it from
being very bad. Yeah. I think it's a 50-50 chance. No, it's like 75. chance of
Normally,
pushing it over.
I would say don't, but like he's in a bad way anyway. You know what
He's
I mean?
probably like a DC 15, to be honest, because
If this does fail, I have an idea. Oh, nice. That'll push it up nicely.
yeah, I rolled 2 4s on my D4s.
Scott,
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how I want this to be playing out for Gallon's point, like for Gallon in terms of helping the situation. He's literally just like sitting there staring intently at him, and like very obvious that Gallon's not hiding that he's studying him, and like making it very obvious that like you lie, I'll know, sort of thing.
Okay. So one of the things that you're going to be able to read before a response, Tesh, off this person is that, again, they just look weary. They just look tired. They just look like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, it's kind of like we've all been sick before. We've all been like hugging the bowl sick before. And then like somebody's like talking at you about something that's entirely unrelated to the fact that you don't feel well. And you're just like, why is this important now? Like, why do I give a fuck? You know, like this doesn't, what? You know, that kind of scenario, right? So you can definitely tell that he's kind of in that scenario where you guys are talking at him and it's almost effectively in one ear and out the other. It just doesn't matter. This is not his priority. So he just kind of, you say these words to him, Neil, trying to get your point across. And his response is, fuck off.
You look like you could use some rest. Maybe some medical attention too.
He does like a half chuckle, but it's almost like it hurts. So like he does like a half chuckle, like but it like hurts to do. So his like shoulders and head slump forward a little bit, and he like his forearms are bracing him against the table to lean there.
You could probably get some rest. Get someone to look at those wounds, if you cooperate. Or we could sit here all night badgering you, and you could have a nice night with us. And when he says with us, he's going to bang the table.
Oh, that's so mean.
I love it.
The jostling vibration. Oh,
that's so.
Because he's
good.
resting, he's like supporting himself with his elbows, right?
Yeah. Oh, I can feel that. Oh. All right. Anyways, so why don't you it's not another intimidate check, just to change it up for a second. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a strength check with that one there, Neil, as you're like banging that table really hard.
Back to rolling solidly under 10.
Okay. Hey, listen, I haven't played with you in years, Ian. I missed you. So it's nice to have you back.
That man, like his rolling is.
Jokes aside, send him my love.
I make so many jokes about how bad my rolling is, but my God, I feel so bad.
God, do you remember that? Do you remember that time in Sergeant Number, Scott, where we were in ship combat and Ian was the gunner, and this combat just went on and
I was
on
watching,
because we just couldn't hit them.
Yeah, the second I learned
like
the gunner,
Ollie's there, like
chat.
I've made a mistake. God,
I remember specifically posting in chat, why on earth did you make Ian the gunner?
So two super quick details. One, why the fuck did we hire a stormtrooper to be the gunner? And two, I remember when Ollie allowed him to play an archer that walked in at level 1 or 2 with like a fucking plus 11 to an attack roll, a 12 to attack roll. And I was like, bro, that is broken. You should not allow that. That is 5e. This is clearly a broken setup. I think it was like a plus 12 to attack roll, like level 1 or 2. I was like, you should not allow that. That's super broken. And then we played 2 or 3 combats and I changed my mind. It's like, my apologies. Why did I argue this? Ollie, you are completely correct, sir.
I like that he's learned to make characters that don't need to roll.
Moving on. So, I got to see Ian, my love. He's a good dude. I hope him and his lady friend are getting married soon. So, or at least they're living happily. Marriage is not a requirement.
they are married.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, moving on. The So yeah, you bang that table really hard, and it definitely jostles him. For this one, Neil, I will allow you to go ahead and roll me a d6 plus strength modifier, or just click the strength. Yeah, d6 plus strength modifier. My apologies. Oh, and I'm so sorry, Gallon. You were able to. I can't remember. Sense motive a class skill for you,
Yes.
and do you have at least 5 ranks in it?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then if it's a class skill, you have at least 5 ranks. You get to roll me a d12 plus wisdom modifier.
Ooh.
I forgot to apply that.
Can you guys see
Wisdom
some
modifier is
strange
only a
red
+1.
glitching on stream?
Do you still have a
Oh,
plus?
but it's a 12.
I see no red glitching on stream, and
Like behind Vigo. Look at his
What?
blind. Red
I don't
dots?
see it on stream.
Is it my screen? Is my
I
screen
think it's your
done?
screen.
Yeah, my second screen might be dying.
That's
Yeah.
not good.
no, you're good. Sorry. All right, moving on. So let's go. So
I think
you, sir,
Hmm.
it's a great opportunity to upgrade. No, so back to you, sirs. So yeah, you have a 12 and an 8. That's a 20 total. You bang the thing. And he's like, oh fuck, you. Oh. Wow. And you can see like he's like trying to gather it, like swallow it down. Because the dryness of the throat and like, almost like that constant pressure on the stomach and the throat that almost feels like if you talk or breathe too hard or too much, you're going to just start dry heaving, So he's like clearly like working up the saliva to lubricate his throat so he can respond. And he goes, I already got my attention. Fuck you very much. Ain't done shit, these morons. That's it.
I guess it's
Well,
asking.
doesn't look like it was very good attention to me. Kind of like what you boys tried to give us, eh? Not very good. Huh?
Don't worry, I took care of your mother. She'll be proud of the way I handled her. Nice hit on the guard captain, by the way.
Thank you. Would you care for a taste?
I already got it, just told you.
Let's start with a name.
Didn't stop to ask her.
Yeah, I'm talking about yours, dipshit.
He kind of like
We
pushes
have-
himself. He like pushes like uses the table to like push himself up, and he looks at you and says, "You think I don't know? I'm probably gonna die shivering in a cell because someone doesn't know how to bandage a wound."
Look me in the eye. Viggo here has saved lives. I've watched him do it on the battlefield. He's literally sewn Gallon back together in front of me. We can do that for you. You're a Peridel soldier, aren't you? You did this because you thought you were doing what was right. Someone's told you something and you're confused. You help us, we help you. I don't want to see another one of our loyal boys die. All right?
Tesh sense motive and Jake sense motive. He was talking, so he couldn't really.
Ooh, that's less than usual. Oh, wow.
That's funny that you guys both in the same one. So, what you guys notice, because again, I'm going to give this to Tesh because his consistent reading of this person. You notice that there's one of those things where he was probably trying to listen to what Tristan was saying, but that was a lot of words, and his current state, too much. It was too many words. Whatever the meaning was he was trying to say, he probably didn't catch it. Even if he understood the beginning part with the him saving people on the battlefield. By the time all those words that 7 paragraphs ended, the first few words fell out of his head. It was just too much.
I'm gonna send to both of them via Virgil. He's not getting everything. His injuries are too severe. Is there any way we can temporarily prop him up and promise him more, maybe?
And Jake, just to be clear, because he says that to you, you actually reading the situation yourself, you agree. It's like you can, that kind of like affirms what you were already kind of thinking for you. Tristan, that's the first time you're hearing it.
Viggo would step forward at that point and he'd say, very slowly, I'm a doctor. I can save your life. Also, you served, so you know what this is. And he pulls out like another healing potion and he says, this will heal you. And then he'll put it back.
It takes him a moment when you say, you know what this is, and like this will heal you. It's around the time you're saying this will heal. Then he kind of like pull his eyes actually get up enough. He lifts his head enough to actually see what it is that you're holding. And he does like a mild grunt that suggests that he does understand what it is. Now, this person, depending on what their rank was, they probably have never touched a healing potion before, but that doesn't mean that they haven't seen one of their officers or whatever drink them before. Because you're not fucking giving healing potions to lowly, to lowly champions or anything like that. It's going to go for people that are worth the time. They have to be at least excellent to get healing potions. So, actually, jokes aside, a champion's probably the lowest rank that you would deign to give one to as like a reward or whatever, right? Anything beneath that, it just grunts, right? So, as horrible as it is, but Paradel is a war machine, churning those bodies. Moving on. So
we see healing potions a lot more often than most people do.
For you, Jake, you could actually go ahead and roll a diplomacy to convince him. But first, Neil, you're going to take a -5, which I know sucks for you, but you can roll a diplomacy to see if you were able to aid him with how it was you had said it first. Okay? Kind of like some of those words rattling around in there. Does that include the -5?
No.
Okay. So it's a 14. You give the +2. Jake, you can go ahead and roll your diplomacy.
That's still good.
Does that include the +2? Do you want to luck your 18 or are you happy with it?
What do you guys want?
I say might be worth it to get him talking.
There are other guys, but this could be the way to crack them up.
Yeah. I think it's probably worth it.
All right.
Good luck.
Okay, you succeed. Jake, is diplomacy a class skill for you, and do you have at least 5 ranks in it?
I have 4 ranks in it.
Ah, that's funny. Is it a class skill?
It is a class skill.
So
yeah.
1d8 plus charisma modifier, please.
I use intelligence for it.
For diplomacy?
Yeah.
Oh, then you add that instead. That's cool.
That's very cool.
Oh, it's a trait he has.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
one I think
1D
Neil had beforehand.
1d8 plus.
But rest in peace, Barry.
It's funny because I keep deliberately not taking diplomacy because Galen does not give a shit about diplomacy.
It doesn't make sense for him. Like, in my opinion, Tash, that's the correct way to play a game. Accepts your failures as part of your character and focus on the things that you want to show off as. Like, strategically.
It's just really funny because I'm like, I keep needing it and being like, no, I wouldn't take it.
No, it's the same with Triss.
But that's
Triss
cool,
sense
though.
motive and perception. I'm just like, no.
And in my opinion, that makes it great. And because you humans, have played together for years now. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense that your play style, you know how to fill each other's holes. So, sorry. So I'm not sorry. So
I will say
that
one of my.
line,
I was just going to quickly add in one of my favorite things about making a new character is choosing a dump stat now. It didn't used to be, but now it is.
I like choosing a dump stat. I hate when I resort to charisma because it makes the concept work. I feels cheap. But yeah, I like dump stats. When you can convince yourself to take Constitution as a dump stat, you know you have a cool character. You know what I mean? Like, but it takes
very
it's really hard.
frail.
Yeah.
I've got a couple.
You're
It'd be a fun character to play. Like
I've got a couple.
one of my favorite. Sorry, go on.
I've got a couple with many dump stats. One of which is Constitution.
Oh,
it's different in
nice.
5e versus Pathfinder, though.
One of the things that like first inspired me to try something different to like the very normal way that like an adventurer is played was Caleb from the second Critical Role campaign. He played him so that it would be he would actually go and hide mid combat and like be like terrified of what was going on, or like when the fire happened, he would like lock down and stuff, and it was much more interesting to me, and that was what made me quite happy to do dump stats.
And it can make your character that much more well-rounded. Yeah, I agree. I don't know that character that reference that you made because I don't want to roll, but
Yeah.
but just to button off the point of the con bit in Pathfinder, if you have an 8 versus a 14 Constitution, your character dies at -8 health points versus -14. That is a huge scary thing, right? But
Yeah.
you never want to be negative, but it's that much scarier. All right, moving on, because it's that many less rounds you can survive unconscious. But moving on. So you continuing, you say this line to him, Jake, and he takes like a solid almost minute, like after the last words that he said there, like really stole his strength. He takes almost a minute of like, you can tell that he's just trying to catch his breath, swallow the saliva, trying to produce saliva to swallow, trying to lubricate his throat so we respond. Then he looks up at you and he says, "You fix me, I'll talk."
Can I sense motive to see if he's telling the
You
truth?
most certainly can, sir.
Damn it.
They can sense motive as well. This is one of those ones where it would be the whole team.
Yeah.
We have to believe that he's not a traitor and that he did what he did because he thought it was the right thing to do.
Well,
I think you should help him, Viggo.
Given my regardless of what I rolled, Galen would be responding to this. So how do I see this?
So are you not going to roll sense motive there, Neil, just to see if you happen to be the best one there?
You never know. Although I get the feeling it's not too hard to read this guy at the moment, given what I've read before.
So you believe what he's saying. Already seems like he's resigned himself to death. So more or less, he's accepting the fact that he's going to die and is not scared by you, is what it seems to be. He's like, yeah, this is going to be a horrible death. But you seem to be offering him resolution to his problems, right? So he's like, okay, more or less, put your money where your mouth is, and let's see if this is true. And if so,
just turn to the others and nod.
Well, what I can do is I can treat your wounds now, get everything cleaned out properly, and back the way it should be. But you won't get this until after you've told us. So more or less, I'll treat his wounds so he's not going to die, all that stuff. And if he answers this, I'll give him the
so he can actually feel better. Yeah,
the
it's
potion.
like one of those things. I'll keep you alive, but if you want the morphine,
Pretty much.
Anytime I say the word morphine, it makes me think of Pitch Black. So, anyways, you
Just as a note, before any surgery starts, I would actually go out and inform the guards of what's happening so they know what's going on. just so they don't open the door and see us doing.
You knock the door. It's like one of those knock, 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 and the door opens up. So, Jake, for you, this is actually going to be two things.
Out and get them.
This is going to be surgery is going to be what, 1 hour or whatever it takes, and then you also have to do long-term care before they're at a state where they can be noticeable, because you have to actually treats the festering wounds and whatnot, the wounds that are already starting to have, as you said beforehand, infection is already starting to set in. Which, if an infection sets in less than 24 hours, that's not good. That's like all sorts of not good. That's like
One
really
of us ain't
not good.
cleaning their weapons.
Yeah, well, yeah.
In fact, Viggo might be smearing shit on his.
He like knows how to make it worse. Yeah. He like keeps
You know,
it-
they used to do that very occasionally in like the medieval
Yeah,
ages.
Of course, yeah.
oh.
like Viggo understands disease well enough, not well enough to wash his hands before surgery, because that wasn't invented until the French did it in the late 1800s, right? But he
Have
knows.
you heard the story of how they figured that out? It's so fucking hilarious.
Or is it a German?
Like-
I think it was a German guy. But
The hospital was like there was a cemetery and a midwifery, and they were having a whole bunch of it's this part isn't funny, obviously. I should clarify. There was a whole bunch of miscarriages and births and dead mothers that it wasn't going well. It was really bad. High mortality rate. And then the guy who was leading it decided, just on a whim, because they were next to the mortuary and they were the same doctors were doing like the mortuary stuff and then doing the medical stuff. What if they washed their hands in between? Everyone thought it was crazy, but it worked. That guy then got fired for this thing, and they went back to it, and they went back to the same mortality rates.
Yep.
They fired him because he came up with the idea of washing hands.
I'm sure he got
And it
fired for
worked.
other reasons too. That's just,
No,
Stories always
was
evolve.
apparently like that's true. He was like laughed at it for the idea. and
I'm
stuff
sure he
like
wasn't
that.
fired just because like, you want us to wash hands? Ah! I'm sure it was
Probably
been,
not just
like, you
that,
want us to
but it
wash
was-
hands and also you
But-
punched your nurses in the head.
Well,
Like,
no, it was like, because the entire concept is ridiculous, because
Yeah.
ill health was caused by miasma, bad smells, etc., etc.
no, I get
Hands
that.
can't do that.
But the idea of firing somebody just for science is goofy. I'm
Yeah,
sure,
it
I'm
happens
sure
all
he
the
was
time.
also insufferable. Like, it wasn't just washing hands. It was also, he also nagged people about washing hands constantly while they were in the bathroom.
He tried to
Like-
take 6 weeks paternity leave.
Yeah, see, you get it. All right.
I can't remember like the full description of why he was fired, but that was suggested. What?
Yeah, see, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah,
It
there you
has, it has to be something more than just you wash your hands. Because he was probably insufferable to one degree or another, right? So it's like suggested
Well,
they
no.
had
Did
patients.
you read? Yeah, at which they did.
Yeah, but again, it is the difference between you might be hurting your patients or you were definitely murdering your patients, you fiend. There's two different tones to it, is what I mean. But either way,
I guess so, yeah.
let's move on. So Jake, for you to do this, doing the first check, which is the surgery check, I believe takes an hour. Treat deadly wounds. Treat deadly wounds. Treat deadly wounds. I believe it takes an hour for you to do, and you're going to, when treating deadly wounds, restore health points. Da 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 da. So you have to roll that. It is a DC 20 check.
Okay.
Oh, it says treating a disease actually is only 10 minutes of work.
Oh, cool. Gallon's just helping him by handing him what he needs and stuff like that. he's the pat guy.
Yeah, you're past
Yeah.
first aid, sadly.
Tris is gonna offer this soldier his hands. Like, he's about to have
Honestly,
surgery
yeah,
performed
that's
on him. Tris will offer the hands.
Crush time.
So this is going to be one of those things where more or less, if you're telling them what to do, go back to Utesh. You'll look kind of like informed, and eventually the word comes back. It's like, yeah, you can't do that in there. You're going to have to do that down in the cell.
In the
I
cell?
guess we're
Alright.
moving him to the cell then.
I mean, you could always try to counter that if you'd like, Neil, if it doesn't sit well with you.
I mean, surely, like, they poo and stuff in the cell.
Yeah,
Well,
you got a bucket.
can we ask why?
It's full of miasma.
So my apologies. You ask why? The guard. So the person that kind of responds to, which isn't the captain of the guard themselves, it's one of the others. They'll say, well, a couple of reasons. One, you're going to have blood and shit all over the place. So That ain't a good thing. And 2, you're gonna have a bunch of screams happening from inside there. So this is going to be bad for the sake of, you can't have those kind of stains in there that you can't really clean out. You also can't have that kind of sound. And what if we get what's the word he's looking for? What if we get an audit during this time? It's going to look like we're doing the wrong types of interrogation, and that causes a whole mess. Whole mess.
If we move into the cell, I can clean up the area anyway. I'll mention that we'll clean up any mess that's made, and I'll show him prestidigitation just briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Viggo will say it's fine to do it in the cell. It actually might benefit us.
Okay. So with you not really...
His screams will put the other prisoners off.
Oh. Well, so one of those things where the guard just kind of like nods and they turn to go say something, and when you say that, he like stops and he like half looks back and he's just like gives you like a horrified look.
If he
like,
gives me the horrified look, I'll
this
say
from a guard. He's like, what?
Yeah, no, the guard will look at me. I'll just say he saved my life before. His work is good.
It's like a slow, like understanding nod, and then walks away like fucking quacks. Like this is why I don't see
battlefield
doctors.
surgeon, man.
Yeah, so I don't go to doctors. I rub dirt in it like my dad taught me.
You've just made sure this guy's gonna die of infection. He's gonna.
Anyways, so you go down. You eventually lead him down into the cell where you get him what you need to. Jake, looking over the cell really quickly, trying to get an understanding. I mean, this place is dirty, and obviously, Tesha's character is going to be able to clean it with things like he's going to be able to clean away a lot of the debris and whatnot that's inside there. But it still means that this place needs to be properly handled. So most likely what you're going to want is like new sheets or blankets or whatnot that you can get to lie this guy on, soak up the blood, but also to get him off of the actual cold dirt and whatnot that's down there, because that's the cold cell ground and whatnot that's down there. And so you can send probably Neil not Neil, sorry, Gallon. Haha. He has to stay inside the prison. He's a prisoner. So.
Yeah.
You can send Gallon
I can go pick something up.
to like head down to the street, grab like a quilt or something to go pick it up for like a gold piece, 2 gold piece or so, and then come back and lay it down and put the guy on top of it. Then you can start your first treatment here, which is going to be the treat deadly wounds. Right. So this is a DC 20.
I will have Triss and Gallon hold him down as well because they have to.
Yep. Luckily for you guys, he's not exactly strong.
All right, so
honestly, check. I'll do the same thing Triss is doing, and like while holding him down, let like with the hand that I'm not using to hold him down, hold his hand to like let for the pain that's coming. He needs something to squeeze.
Okay, so I mean that's a disgustingly high roll.
Holy fuck!
When you beat the number, so I always give to remind myself of the rules. So it's 1 health point per level, which is fine and all. If you beat it by 5 or more, you add your wisdom modifier to the amount of extra health that's healed. So that's good news there. And you have your kit and everything there, so you're good to go. Next thing you're going to want to do is treat disease. So you're going to roll a separate check specifically to treat the disease. I think you're still allowed to use the same skill for that. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit.
So you're definitely going to be able to...
Damn it.
You're definitely going to be able to treat the disease very well. No qualms there at all. Do a good job. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is go ahead. So you spend like almost like an hour and a half or so, just almost 2 hours or so cleaning up the cell, getting it prepared, lying them down, then doing these 2 treatments. Now you're going to start the long-term care. Long-term care is one of those things where you're going to be in and out of his cell over the course of like the night. And the early morning the next day before you can get him to where he is. Unless you want to do a full day's rest long-term care, which will obviously be better. But first, long-term care. Go ahead and roll that last check. This one's way easier. It's a DC 15.
Yeah, as much as this is taking longer than we like, this is well worth it. If it holy shit. And this is well worth it for getting this dude to work with us.
Perfect. So you have Tristan and Gallon assist you for the first 2 hours or so. After that, after the screams and whatnot have subsided, and they more or less just kind of like semi fall asleep, semi pass out from pain and everything afterwards. You're gonna start checking in on them, occasionally switching out a bandage, occasionally giving them a different like ointment or whatever to put on there, and whatever the case may be, right? Or herb to like, kind of grind into it, whatever the case may be. But this is going to take, again, 8 to 24 hours before you get the results for you to finally talk to him again. Yes, Gallon.
I was gonna say this is probably where they take Tristan to. It's like, okay, now you go to solitary.
So because he's in and out, you can actually grab the other guy. And now it's late. It's one of those things where now it's like late night, where most of the prisoners now are kind of like, it's lights off time, if you will. It's like time to go to bed because it's evening again. But like, that time starts right after they heard somebody screaming down the hall.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Sleep well. Would you take that guy immediately now, or would you wait until the next morning to go and speak with the other one?
I mean,
No, I'd have Triss and Gallon take that guy.
yeah, that's probably worth it.
And you
While
can
he's
too, to be
thinking
100%
that
clear,
through.
Jake. You're welcome to go as well, because you're in and out of the cell. And I'm sorry, I spoke over you,
Okay.
Tesh.
Yep.
No, that works. I was saying he can. I'm pretty sure he can join us. Is what I was trying to say. I think.
Oh, so we were we were saying the same point. So you guys
Yeah.
grab the other guy and you bring him in there, and he sat down. And once again, the other guards, nobody offers you coffee, and people tend to keep a distance.
Well, when they see the effects, maybe they'll be more on our side.
Listen, a fear of doctors is a long-standing tradition. So you guys are able to wait a little bit and eventually go walking in there. Same as beforehand. Everybody bluff check as you walk in. It's kind of like play your cards close to your chest. Neil, I expected 2 this time. The 4 was a little high for you. Okay.
It's about
Now I'm hungry and tired.
Perceptions and sense motives.
Oh shit!
Once again, Tristan is easy to read and reads nothing.
I'm like a picture book.
Viggo, you could see that this person barely has any injuries on him, just like scrapes and whatnot that were more or less untreated. They were probably washed in a water basin by himself, but scrapes and whatnot from the wrestling him to the ground and everything that happened, and being cuffed and dragged here, sort of a thing, but not a bunch. This is the one that actually commented beforehand about the punch to the face of the guard that happened beforehand. They're awake, they're alert. They look okay, though clearly still wearing the same clothes from yesterday. Yes, sir.
To note, this is also the one that that lifted his friend off the
Correct.
ground, who was prone, and then his friend abandoned him.
Correct. To which case I was going to go to you, Gallon, and say, this person looks energetic. Like either they just had a really large tea, or they got ADHD or something. They look alert and on point and energetic. They're sitting there as you guys walk in. It's kind of like one of those, hey guys, long time no see.
You look like you're doing all right.
As he gives that kind of like thing, he says, you look like you're doing all right. And he gives like a nod. This is where Gallon sees, oh yeah, no, there's nervousness. There's a nervous twitch in his eyes, his smile, his tone. It's like this person clearly heard the screams down the hall for the past 2 hours and
You
whatnot.
just-
Plays in well
You
because
you both hear
Viggo
in
takes out the
his-
notebook.
Oh, sorry. Oh, perfect.
No, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, you
'cause as
both
I'm
hear
doing
in
it,
his
you can
head.
talk.
You
You both
asses.
hear it in your head. Damn it. You both hear it in your head. He's nervous.
Go ahead, Viggo.
Yeah, Viggo takes out the notebook, does the walk around again, starts saying, minor, cuts and abrasions, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, redness of the skin. Seems to be infection similar to what we've seen in the other guy. And then Viggo's like, I'll probably have to treat that.
It's like, I see infection on his flesh. Might as well remove it and start over. Pulls like a long like boning knife. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Anyways, so you're gonna go ahead, and who's speaking first? Aside from him doing that, and usually somebody else kind of chimed in, or nothing.
Trish will say, shame about being left behind, but at least you got a company now, eh?
Okay, nice. I like that approach there. This actually seems like it's meant to be more of an intimidation than it is meant to be a diplomacy. Because you're playing on soft spots. Jake, you can start with your aid another of intimidation. Neil, you follow up your actual roll.
The screaming, it's intimidation.
While you're rolling, I'm gonna go and grab a book that I keep forgetting to grab and read.
That's +2 to his. So that's 16.
Oh,
Not bad. That's a good start.
I'm gonna be right back. Well, Scott's be right back.
Okay. God, it's so good to have Virgil back. I could just
Yeah,
message you
telepathy
guys and
comes
talk to you
in
guys in your
clutch.
head.
Yeah.
Huh?
The telepathy comes in clutch.
Oh yeah, it's
Good.
nice.
Mm.
Also, I want you to know the difference from when I don't have him to when I do have him. When I don't have him, my crystals do 1d2. When I do have him and I'm within 30 feet, they do 2d8. So there's a little bit of a difference in damage.
Just a little. Just a little.
Yeah, the downside of the Crystal Warrior Aegis is I need my crystal.
Yeah. Well, just I think we got to be more careful with him scouting.
Oh yeah, that I will now. The good thing is in 2 levels he can attack on his own.
Yeah, I keep telling myself
Nice.
I'm gonna look at these 2 books, but then I never end up doing it. Hold on.
Oh, that I don't know what they are, but the covers look cool.
This
They're a
is
little blurry.
3.5. Complete Adventure,
Oh,
Complete
cool.
Scoundrel. So, yeah, the covers are beautiful. I missed 3 point.
Oh, those are beautiful. Yeah, those are beautiful covers.
Yeah, 3.5 books are had the best art out of all of them to me. I love specifically Eberron's art a lot. But moving on.
Eberron art is fantastic. I'll agree.
Yeah, they only changed it slightly for 5th edition and whatnot. They crisped it up, if you will, which I didn't like as much, but that's fine. So moving on, Neil's gone again. So with you rolling the intimidation there, he only got a +2 from you. His is 16. Do you want to modify that 16 to try to get higher? If so,
I
Neil's
think-
not here, so somebody else going to roll that D4.
I think we decided that we're okay with that as a starting point.
Is it 16?
Yeah, I think that's what we decided. Right, Jake?
I don't know. It's weird because Pathfinder modifiers are crazy. So when you roll something like a 16, you're like, oh, it's not that good. When in reality, it's not bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
16 in
's
Pathfinder is
fine.
like a 10.
For like our first check of the entire thing, I think.
Yeah,
it's
I
fine.
think let's leave it. We shouldn't get too. We're very reliant on luck. We luck like so many
Leave-
rolls.
Yeah, leave the dice for when it comes in really important, like the deciding roll sort of thing.
This is the thing that I keep
Yes.
wanting to look at.
Skill
So
tricks.
yeah, I'll look at it later on. So,
I
anyways,
don't know what they are.
it's where it allows you guys to combine your efforts for exaggerated effect. So
That's all. Yes. Okay. I've actually been literally reading someone who's trying to do that in 5e, like make combos and stuff between different classes and stuff.
yeah, it's cool stuff. I mean, that's kind of existed back in 2nd edition too, and I imagine other things as well. But let's keep going. So you with your 16 total. It's funny. Last time you guys went balls deep right in the way, or right out the bat, and this time you guys are like, no.
Well, it's because
Hopefully
we've got the other guy who hopefully is going to help us.
We've
and
already planted our seeds.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
need to
I
cut down the orchard trees.
I gotcha. So he looks at you like a good thing you but at least you got friends here. However, it was you finish that off. So he says to you um oh that I'm pissed. I'm pissed about that one. You kidding me? You kidding me? I go and I help you up from the goddamn ground so you don't get trampled by the big ass horse. And then you just turn and run? That's messed up.
That is messed up. You know what that tells me, though?
What weren't trained right? Weren't trained right.
That you have honor.
He looks at you, he's like, well, yeah.
Which tells me that you believe you were doing the right thing attacking us, yeah?
He kind of stops and
No? You don't think you were doing the right thing?
I think I was doing what need to be done.
Well, that's how I felt when I had to deal with you boys.
He nods
Killing's not fun.
and shakes his head. He's like, no, I get it. Dog eat dog world out there. You just happen to have the bigger maw.
Unfortunately, it seems nowadays that these dogs eating other dogs happen to be different provinces of Paradel. That's the problem. To use the analogy, we're one big dog.
He nods and says, one united Paradel. How nice.
Doesn't have to be a dream.
I sense motive that.
You go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too. Oh, I'm rolling terrible. No.
Let me actually, I actually did not have a DC set for this one. Let me GM roll this. / GM roll.
He's bluffing.
Well, no, because you're trying to sense their motive. So it's not a matter of bluff. It's a matter of how easily you can read him.
He's doing a bluff.
You guys can't really, it's not a matter of lying necessarily. It's, but yeah, bluff is a skill check. So you can't get an easy read off of him for this. I mean, he's being sarcastic, but like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you don't know the meaning behind it.
As just an added factor to the whole situation, knowing that I'm not getting a good read of him, Gallon's just going to sort of like lower himself so he's like the same eye level as him, next, still opposite, like in the corner of the table, but very obviously sitting there, very obviously trying to read him.
Okay. So you do the kind of like trying to judge him and whatnot, and as you like lean over and looking at him, he looks at you and says, "Hey,
Hi.
it's pretty weird shit you did out there."
I mean, magic. Some pretty weird magic out there.
Yeah, not a lot of people have the ability to do magic. You know that, right? Like you live in a world where, like, almost nobody has magic.
But generally speaking, if someone were sent on a mission that far away, they probably have some skills. Probably should expect that.
Yeah. So, how much do they pay you?
How much they pay you?
Oh, I get taken care of. Don't worry about me.
Oh, but
Who is
I
it that paid you?
Who is it that paid you?
I got paid by the Dween here.
That's what came out in the conversation last night. Guys work straight for the River King himself. Huh. It's gonna suck. Yeah, that guy's insufferable. Is it true?
So who was it that paid for you?
I mean, I never got handed any coin.
So you didn't get paid?
Not exactly.
Maybe
Who is it
your
that
your
looks
family got
after you?
taken care of.
Certainly, people got taken care of.
I see. So, your papers, they say you're a Paradel military, yeah?
Served. Yep. 9 years. That's 3 tours
We
at
were
Inclement.
to, we were to look,
3 tours.
if we were to look through the records, would you have a spouse? Any children?
He shrugs. Depends on who's keeping those records.
I happen to be relatively familiar with Juventia.
Are you? Because of all the time we just spent out that way.
Yeah. That's what you boys wanted to know, isn't it?
Yeah. The hell are you doing out there?
Well, apparently I was getting tailed by a bunch of useless ex-soldiers.
Probably not, honestly.
No? You don't think so?
Probably not, no.
No, if you were to have a guess at what happened, and they weren't telling us, they were sent here. Who do you think might have sent them?
He shrugs. He says, I mean, I weren't tailing you. I've been here for a bit.
Yeah? You've been in Dwayne here?
Yeah.
Or Dwayne, sorry.
Yeah, I've been here for a bit, yeah.
How long?
What, a year now?
I love this place, personally.
Sorry to hear that.
It's what Paradel could be like.
Smelling like shit. I mean, what is that? Rotting fish every morning? Always, every day you wake up and it's like a whale carcass washed up on the shore over in the shipyards.
It's called the smell of the sea.
Yeah.
You're probably not familiar with it. What with your extensive sewer systems, which, by the way, should get those cleaned.
Galen just nods.
Gonna continue with the joke, but moving on. So you he kind of like sits back in his chair and says, "So, you're here interrogating me. I think we all understand that. They're gonna try to lock me up for some sort of assault against you. I think we both have something we can gain from this. Yeah."
You don't want to be locked up? We have stuff we need to know.
There you go.
What is the punishment if you're convicted of treason?
Death, of course.
Convicted of treason? Yeah. So you say, "Oh, death," of course. He just kind of like nods to him.
That won't get in your way now. Continue.
So listen, you do me a favor, I do you a favor, and we both walk away happy.
Sounds good.
Drop all charges. They fingered the wrong guy. I happen to be a passerby. You guys gathered me when you ran into the alleyway chasing down the other one. It was a mistake.
Well, start talking and we'll see whether you even get to walk away.
Hold up. You know who left me on the ground? Well, you say you know who left me behind? I'll tell you who they are and where you can find them.
I'm sense moting the fuck out of that. Yeah, that's more like it.
Seems like he's telling the truth. He seems like genuinely like fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Galen just sort of back up nodding. Just
Listen, let me be as plain as possible here, okay? If I give you any information, I'm fucked. Completely. Like if I tell you anything real, I'm done. So I have no incentive to help you. I mean, you can threaten to break bones, and certainly I don't want that. That would suck. I certainly heard what happened to haul down the way, but I'm assuming that, you were trying to help that guy out. I mean, you're serving here. You're in McGlynn. This isn't the backwaters, right? You're certainly going to be following some policies out this way. So I'm assuming that was you trying to fix him up or something, just with a dirty knife or whatever. Either way. But if somebody else whistles, it's no sweat off my back. I can tell you exactly where to find them.
That's actually really useful to us. If I remember right, this guy didn't land a hit on anyone, did he?
No, he was attacking Neil from behind, but missed twice and then ran off.
That's right.
No, he was attacking the horse. No,
Oh no,
this is the person attacking the horse.
Okay.
This is one this is the one that it's actually, hold on, the one with the crossbow got knocked. So the one with the crossbow shot Carrick. The one with the sword, I don't know if the one with the sword ever actually hit Carrick or not, but the one with the crossbow definitely shot Carrick and then draw a sword and I believe hit. So I don't remember if this one hit Carrick or not, but definitely had a sword attacking Carrick.
I mean, as much as as Galen doesn't want this guy to go free, this might be really useful for us.
Well, it's not our decision anyway, but we don't tell him that.
Put in a good word. That's about it.
You can drop
Viggo
charges.
says
you could
it's-
say.
Oh no,
you
yeah,
could
actually
say-
we can drop charges. Yeah.
It's a good start, but we're gonna need to know more than that. You understand? We're cross-checking your answers against your friends.
I ain't giving you no answers.
I understand that you want to avoid betraying your comrades because it would put you at jeopardy by getting someone else to betray them. However, you've done 3 terms of Inclame. You know that stuff like this has to be earned.
All right, what you proposing? Because I can't tell you nothing.
You're afraid of reprisal. But what if you were working for us the whole time?
Nope, won't work.
Won't work?
Won't work.
Of course, you're still betraying whoever your employer is. But then you'll be under the Dwayne Here's protection.
Won't work.
Why?
Dwayne here won't be able to protect. Listen, I'm not an idiot. I served 3 tours, okay? I see your ranks, all right? Now, I never quite got champion. I know if I did one more tour, I would have, okay? But I also saw other shit on the battlefield. I know exactly what some people are able to do. At least one of you here is able to use magic. I know you're going to get your answers one way or another, all right? My plan here is to step out of the way. I don't want to be the collateral damage in the way of you getting your answers. I ain't going to mess around with no mages, but at the same time, I can't go ruining everything I have. So I can offer you somebody that I'd love to get steamrolled. Word probably doesn't exist.
Probably not.
You know we're the first step, right?
No,
we
it's-
don't get the answers we're looking for. Who do you think is going to visit you next?
He shakes his head and says, "We're in McGlynn. This is an easy job. In McGlynn, you have certain protections. You have rights, especially as a Manel, which is the reason why Manel come this way. We have protections. You can't do certain things to us. You can't treat us certain ways. You're Manel." He gestures to 2 of you. Yourselves, I assume.
You know, he has a fair point. He does have rights. But you know,
Did
there was a lot of
traitors convicted
there
of
was-
treason have rights?
You know, if he's convicted of treason, he'll be killed.
Yeah.
He'll be executed. Correct.
there was
But you can't beat the shit out of him, sort of a thing.
there
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah, but the Arcane Congress can look through his mind. You know what I'm. You
In-
know
in
what
theory.
I'm saying.
In theory.
That's what I was hinting at.
Yeah.
Oh,
there were a lot of people there that night. It was dark. There was a lot of stuff going on. Maybe he wasn't one of the people who was there, or maybe he was one of the ones casting that strange magic. You know, I don't see any Arcane Congress accreditation to him.
They would want to check something like this out.
I think they would. And you know what they do to unsanctioned users?
Yeah. Well, look, he barely has a scratch on him. Like I said, it seems him running, trying to escape, and being wrestled to the ground seems to have got something in his bloodstream, but seems to be doing all right.
Peculiar.
You gonna send a
Very.
gnome in here? He kind of chuckles to himself a little bit.
No. I'm fairly certain they send those people off to Oostus.
Nods. He says, "At least I'll be going back west."
Give us the name. Give us where to find him. We'll speak to this chap and we'll see. If he sings, then maybe he'll sing sweet enough to earn you your freedom.
Listen, again, I've been around enough to understand that you're going to want something before you give something. I can agree to that. But what kind of collateral do I get to have that I'm not just giving you everything I got and you're going to walk away and leave me rotting in a hole?
You don't.
Then what incentive do I have to even work with you?
You
I can
want to
work-
earn your freedom? It's just like Inclame. You didn't get any collateral. You earn it.
Well, I hate to say it, but you guys said it yourself. You're just the first step. If you don't want to take my my knowledge, I can give it to someone else. And then they can go and find out the answers and get the promotions or whatnot. And then I can still walk free. It's
You
just
think I
easy.
care
Seems like you
about
wanna know a lot
promotions?
more than
We're
we
the
do.
eyewitnesses here.
Yeah, that's right. It's easiest with you.
You think someone else can get you out of this?
Depends on the person, the angle, but maybe. Listen, I want to work with you here. I'm trying not to fight with you here. I just need some sort of assurances that you're not just going to fuck me.
I just told you. If the other one sings sweet enough, you will not swing.
If they sing, you don't swing. Nice. He says, he kind of thinks for a second and he goes, I want to trust you because I won't lie. The way you gave that mean, left hook at that piece of shit captain out there for being an ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. He had some grounds of what he was saying. He was saying you'd be an accomplice to somebody who was then trying to resist arrest, but he was being an ass. I want to trust that you're someone that has honor, but I don't know you.
I don't think there's any other collateral I could give other than my word. He'll offer his hand. Slowly, he'll extend it.
Roll a diplomacy check.
Of course, I roll a beautiful 8, as I consistently have been.
Do you want to modify your 13?
I
Also,
do.
Jake, you are welcome to add to this as well. Though I think in this scenario, you have definitely been bad cop, so you're welcome to roll an intimidate to his to aid his diplomacy, because you have not been a bombing force here.
You keep bringing up infection.
Oof.
Not
Oof.
very, he's naughty cop.
He's like, oops, I dropped my surgical tools. Bends over, picks them up, looks behind him as he does.
So anyways, and Tesh, I unfortunately I don't think that you've been able to aid in any scenario.
Yeah, no,
here.
I'm just keeping a beat on him essentially.
So with your 15 diplomacy, you extend your hands, and he looks down at it, and he looks at you, and he goes, "Really hope you're a man of your word," and he shakes your hand.
I am gonna sense motive how he's handling this.
How he handles the hand? He does one of
No,
these.
no.
He extends one hand, and the other one's like.
Basically trying to see if he's just made a decision or not, like to not help or to help sort of thing.
Of course.
Because he obviously just made a decision in his head. So
Are you satisfied with your 17 on the sense motive?
look, we're gonna go investigate whatever he is anyway, so I'm gonna say I'm fine with it.
So, person you're looking for. My apologies. Sorry. The person you're looking for. I First name is Wilfer. Last name Caleb.
Wolf for Caleb. The
Surname
exact
Caleb.
moment you remember, you forgot to open your notes.
Wilfer Caleb, but that's not what they go by. Honestly, if you ask that name around here, you ain't gonna get nothing. That's a name that'll help you out if you're looking at official documentation, right? Nickname around here is supposed to be what is it? Swift, like crossbow, swift with a crossbow, and
Swift to run away, yeah.
Where can we
No,
find
he nods like that one. Like he nods agreeing, but it's one of those like it hurt him. Like it was a dig at him. He's like, oh yeah.
And where can we find him?
So there are a couple different places where you can find him. Sorry. There's a couple different places where you can find him. He's not much of a drinker, but if he is going out for a drink, you can usually find him down by the docks. Usually down there you can catch a good glimpse of a fight or something. It's kind of fun to watch. He's known to throw a couple of silver here or there if there's a bit of betting down that way as well. But more importantly, he actually served on a ship for a little while. I believe he served on the rivers heading down through Sahara. So either way, he likes being down by the water area.
I think
like I
that's
said,
where he'd go. He's injured.
this one isn't
He
injured.
received
This one isn't
treatment.
yeah, he's not
Oh, that
injured.
one.
No.
Didn't you throw
He's
a
the one
star
that
at
wasn't
that guy?
injured.
No, he's not injured.
Oh,
He just got knocked over.
Yeah, he was about to get trampled, but the other guy picked him up.
He goes, if he's lying low, I know he has some friends down that way. So if he's lying low, like hiding from the rest of the group, more than likely he's going to be hanging out with one of his friends. I don't know much about exactly where the location he would be. Like I know that the bars down that way, there's 2 or 3 different bars down there. That's where you'll find him for the gambling and the watching the fights or whatnot. But warehouses down there is usually where he spent his time. Like if we weren't working on something, he would be hanging out down by the warehouses, some dock workers and the like. So again, you look around that area, you'll definitely be able to find him. I know that. He was seeing this other fella for a little while. I never met the guy. God, I can't remember the name. I know he had red hair. He was, younger, at least younger than us. I'm pushing 40. Swift's about my age. He was a bit younger. I want to say maybe mid-20s. Like I said, red hair, keeps it about mid-length. You could probably find that guy as well. Ain't too many redheads around, so that's someone else you can probably find about here. More importantly, big thing I can tell you is that crossbow he has with him. That's a Stalingrad. It was a gift. Belonged to his his grandfather before him, but I think it belonged to someone before that. So it's a soft spot, if you will, a pressure point. So now, granted, I don't think anybody should really go marking up a Stalingrad, but it is a soft spot for him.
Better than marking up you.
Yeah. He'll chuckle, like a nervous chuckle to that one. And he says, last thing I would say is he does have an old injury. It's one of the reasons why he ended up leaning on the crossbow instead of using swords as often. It wasn't just a gift. But he actually has an injury in his left shoulder from, battlefield before. He took a stab wound there a good while ago. Didn't heal up proper. So he's got a bit of a click into it. So, he's
His friends are just like him.
he's got a bit of a click into it, and he happens to be a southpaw, so he's not as good with the sword as he is with the bow. So you're aware. Anything else you want to know?
get along with him all right before he just left you high and dry?
Didn't know him too well. Like I said, he spent a lot of time down at the docks and he's kind of newer to join the crew. He's about my age, but we served different places, so we didn't know each other very well. Apparently, you know what they say about people that spend too much time on the river. He just legit just realized he was speaking to people. So.
Yeah. Just catches himself like, oh shit, no.
Couple of other things.
Do I
think.
have to roll another sense motive for all of that, or is it that combined in?
You
the
honestly
other
think
one?
it's combined. You think he's being honest.
cool.
Yep.
Now I'll stand up because before I like knelt down to be the same height. Thank you.
Hey, one more thing. In McGlynn, if you're in custody, you ain't allowed to get roughed up. Those are the laws, and you can sometimes get off of a lot of punishment due your way when you hit the courts if you're getting roughed around inside these interrogation rooms. We all know this. That's the rules of official capacity. Now, it's less official. Just saying.
He wants us to rough the other guy up.
I have a couple of questions. Just final ones.
Not
You've given us a lot to work with there. First off, what was your name?
Oh, his name would have already been given to the guards beforehand. So my apologies. Give me 1 second.
While he's asking this,
Gavin.
Sorry. Gavin. Okay. While he's asking this, I'm walking over to the corner just to sort of like position myself that Virgil can climb back up into my backpack without being noticed.
All right, Gavin. I asked you to trust me and accept my word, and you've done that. And so I'll extend you the same courtesy. You're working with us, but I don't want a man who is a traitor to go free. Triss will offer his hand again and say, do you swear on the Lady Dark Eyes that you have not betrayed Peridel or believe yourself to have betrayed Peridel? And he looks him in the eyes.
It's so much more complicated than that. It's so much more complicated than that. I can't give you an easy answer. You look young, probably an idealist. The world is all bright and shiny or, dark and dingy. So much more to it than that. Yeah.
Peridel is about idealism.
He nods. He says, I ain't about to say nothing incriminating. I'm going to choose not to answer your question here, friend. I apologize for the disrespect.
None taken. He'll look at Viggo and nod.
Viggo will make for the door.
Off we go.
We'll have him sent down back to his cell.
Yep. Of course.
Yes.
All right. So you guys are going to be able to, as you said, walk out the door. And go start searching everywhere. All right. So unfortunately for Tristan, you guys got to leave and you have to give that hug goodbye.
Well,
How long does he have to serve as well?
I think it's like 3 days or something. Triss, I know Triss is supposed to be in solitary confinement. Triss will offer to the captain of the guard, if they need any heavy lifting or labor doing, he's happy to. I know it. He says he knows it's not usual, but he is military, and so he's happy to serve.
Yep. He actually says, paperwork's finalized. I can't change the rules as they're set. And the decision was made before. Besides, maybe a little bit of time to think about it will make the apology you gave set in a little bit more. He says it's not playful, but it's also not meant to be overtly obnoxious either. He does say, however, it was written by Commander Sea Pearl, a recommendation of having you serve your time, but otherwise have the record wiped. I'm still contemplating that one.
Just will nod.
That means that
It's
you
a
wouldn't have
nice,
to serve.
Kind, yeah, it's a kind
Yeah.
offer.
Okay.
After they take
Uh,
Tristan away, I would want to say to the guard captain
Mhm.
that we have a lead on where some of the others are, and as it is kind of their responsibility as well, if they would like to accompany us, making an arrest.
He says, is this something he's like, are you doing investigative work?
Yeah, I would say this
Yes,
does classify
but-
because we don't know exactly where he is.
We are trying to make an arrest though as well at the same time.
Maybe we can find a location and then I'll be saying this out loud. Maybe we can find a location, then call in help.
Generally speaking,
Well-
anything that's investigative, anything that's going to involve this is my responsibility to take care of. However, again, we are in a military city. So the commander here has put you in charge of this investigation. Sorry, has put you at the front of this investigation, even though it is mine. I will absolutely have some guards go with you to put hands on the person involved or people involved, and to lend you a degree of backup. However, I believe you were supposed to actually lead the investigation from the front and do the actual work. The only reason why I can imagine she would do this is if she's concerned that this is going to be of a heightened danger, and the two of you happen to be more adequately equipped. You serve in the military. Not all the people in the guard have. Different degrees of training.
See,
Do you,
is there any paperwork or anything that I can have more or less for my authority to act, like almost not on behalf of the guard, but so I have like legal
yeah.
To
The other
actually
authority
arrest
with what I'm
someone.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, do I know of any like device or tool people use to alert the guard? Like, say, I'm thinking obviously super fantasy wise, but super not fantasy wise, like a flare gun. It's like, hey, over here, sort of thing. Do I know of any tools that the
Yeah,
guards use?
they have, you
that-
know, those like wooden fins that come off like little ridged circles, and you like go like that and you spin it and it goes.
Like a party spinner sort of a thing. Almost.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Nowadays they make them with plastic. Yeah.
there's a proper name. I'm sure Norway will say it in chat in a moment.
Yeah. Oh, did you just say because it's a childhood toy from when he was a child? 83 years ago? Is that what you're
Whoa.
saying? Is that what
Wow,
you're saying?
because he's
I caught your
knowledgeable.
meeting. I caught your meeting, Neil. I got what you're saying. Wow, I'm calling you out for it. Oh, did not go over my head. I'm taller than you. So, anyways, but he's Norwegian, so he's definitely towering over us, anyways. Moving on. So, they would say the guards will be near enough by that you can call to them if you need to them. As for any official paperwork, no, if you apprehend someone, if you grab them, the guards will, again, you call for them, they'll come over, and you're not going to get in trouble for what you're doing. It's like, if you're kicking in a door, you're kicking in a door. And it's one of those things where it's like, you guys don't have like if the guards, you don't need a warrant. This is the United States.
So
if you think there's something in that door, you're kicking it in.
Hey, we're covered legally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, because you were put at the front of this by Sea Pearl said,
Yeah.
she's a battle commander. That's high rank. She
If
of
this guy
city.
attacks us and we accidentally kill him, I don't want
But-
another situation.
But if
like
you
this.
leave the city though, that's you're outside of their.
Yeah,
If you leave, I should say the jurisdiction. it's outside
Yeah,
of-
yeah.
So,
We'll take some guards with us or whatever and head down.
if Anna was here to tell you, it's called a Noisenmacher. Right? German? No? Okay. So the few guards will go with you. They'll send two guards to go along with you guys. But it's one of those things where if obviously you find a den of thief and villainy or whatever it is, filth and villainy or whatever it is, scum and villainy.
America, yeah.
Or London. You guys will obviously call for significantly more guards to aid you, but they're not going to take a ton of guards off the street for this. You're just investigating.
Yeah.
All right. So do you go there tonight where you guys got not as good of sleep last night, or do you want to wait till the morning, or how do you go about this? If you're going tonight at this point, it's been about 24 hours. It's been about 24 hours since you guys were like walking down that street. And
That's a good point. We do need to
Walking down the street.
probably do need to get some rest. And I also need to note that doesn't he need to continue the long-term care?
Oh, good point. He has to at least long-term care till the morning. So you guys he probably has to stay here in a guard bunk to get up occasionally and then pass back out. Yeah.
Honestly,
probably-
Gallon would probably be okay staying there in a guard bunk as well, just to.
We probably
Stay
need a
with
proper rest as it is, yeah.
Nobody offered
Yeah,
Gallon
so
a
we'll have
guard
to.
bunk.
He'll sleep on the floor.
He's like, hey, I'm your bunk mate for tonight. And this guard's like,
The
what?
fuck?
He goes, what? And then he's like, don't worry about it. He lies down and then just like slides, almost like he was pulled by a rope, slides into the bunk, pops his head out. I'll be here if you need me.
Even better, like he's like full suit, sneaks in with Chameleon, so he's like full invisible, or almost full invisible. Lies down in a bunk. Dude gets in his bunk and just finds a crystal man in his bunk. Like, what the fuck?
I like a good cuddle.
Sounds painful.
Um,
Got some jagged edges.
Did you want me or just the suppository?
Fucking hell.
All right. So next day, long-term care is done. Rest is done. Time to set off.
How many days was Triss in
3.
solitary? 3. Okay, so
I believe it
3
was 3, wasn't it?
yeah.
So you guys
Technically
go.
day 2?
Technically, it's day 1. It's starting when he gets here. So this
Damn
night,
it.
that night begins day 1.
Yeah,
Just
that's
the
fair.
the morning of day 1. So you guys get a proper rest and everything. You check on the person. They're doing better, but sleeping, right? All right, cool. So so they're going to be sleeping it off, Jake. So you can talk to them this evening. But you guys go to do your investigative work, bring you down by the docks. How are you bringing yourselves to bear down there? Like, how are you going there? Like, not just walking, but like presenting.
Viggo's just going invisible and staying invisible for the entire time he searches for this boy.
What we should. Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
you go first. My brain
yeah.
has now gone
You go.
blank. So
All right. Well, I'm thinking they know what we look like. So
Yeah.
it might be worth maybe trying to put handlebar mustaches on and
I deleted the
disguise
image.
ourselves.
I deleted the JPEG, I'm pretty sure.
um, I forgot what I was going to say. Again,
Okay, that works too.
God damn it, my brain is
Just saying, Chad.
fried tonight.
It works. All right. Hold on.
Guys, do you guys ever think maybe we should just do like a nap stream where we just like bring our blankets and just cuddle up and just
So I
chat
saw
shit and like
something-
if we fancy it, just have a snooze, you know?
I
Doesn't
saw
that sound
something
good?
recently.
I won't lie. Yeah, but I think it's against
It
TOS.
does actually. Well, I saw someone do a sleep stream where the idea was they were trying to sleep, but they had all of these alerts that were like massively loud and like fully blown out, and like people could pay to just wake them the fuck up.
I'll tell you
That
right now, if I
sounds-
fall asleep, you ain't waking me up.
I slept so. I have you know the old fire alarms, not the beeping ones, the old ones with like the bell. My parents' old house had one of those outside my room, and I slept through it.
How do you stream without a category? You have to choose a category when you stream.
Maybe VSword means like just chatting category.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, because
There's a category for sleeping now. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because you have to have a category. You can't do a categoryless stream.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Like this is set as TTRPGs, but you have to have something. So
Yeah, it's definitely
often-
not against TOS because I've definitely seen people doing it.
Yeah. Well, the rules have changed over the years, though.
Oh no, fairly recently
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen people doing it.
But either way, because I know that at one point in time when H Bomber Guy did his speed run, his full completion, I should say, of Donkey Kong 64, the way that he just fell asleep with just like a skeleton in the chair, that's not allowed anymore. Maybe you just have to stay on cam or whatever it is, but you can't just have like more or less an empty chair on stream while you go off and sleep. There has to be something happening.
Yeah, no, they're on thing. They're
Yeah.
on camera asleep. Yeah,
He
I-
went
I-
in the other room to go sleep or whatever. it
yeah. I
was,
think that's I don't. It's weird.
Yeah. But either way,
Some of the stream TOS stuff is interesting because, like, what what happens to stripping happens where you get locked out of your house and then you're just left with a stream on. Is that against TOS? Do you get in trouble for that?
I mean, you might get in trouble, but it also might be for like a slap on the wrist forgivable because he knows people at Twitch, so he might be able to just be like,
Oh yeah,
guys,
yeah.
like clearly this isn't a But then again, how many
Deliberate
people
thing.
have accidentally left their stream on and got them clicks and likes?
I guess that's true.
So, and
yeah.
I don't mean strip. I actually know him. He's a decent person, but
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
like, oops, I accidentally left the stream on while I walked upstairs naked. Like, oh, how convenient, But anyways,
Yeah, yeah. Good
but
point.
moving on. So and I'm over here that legitimately passed out upstairs.
I've fallen asleep on stream before.
Yeah,
It was at the very end of my 24-hour charity stream. Like, think we were playing Uno.
I could definitely do a 24-hour stream, but what we should do
I
is next
can't
hour and a
I
half.
could not. God.
Oh, absolutely, guys, come on! I'm older than all of you.
I have chronic fatigue.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Neil is chronic fatigue, so
Yeah, it's funny because part of the way that I figured out I had chronic fatigue is realizing that either side of glandular fever, I went from being able to do 24-hour streams to do them often to being able to do barely 6-hour streams, and realizing
had
that
mentioned
was
that
what
recently.
helped get that. Yeah,
but you
that
also need to take care of
diagnosis.
yourself. Like, if you were like, oh, I could do a 24-hour stream, but it was like a every other year versus like, let's do them once a month. Once a month is
Yeah.
very unhealthy. So
Yeah.
But-
No, I did them every couple months, which is still not as good as as you should. Should still do them pretty rarely.
yeah, I mean, but either way, let's get back to it. So, so you guys are going to head down to the docks. Are you going to put on disguises like classic old school, buy a disguise kit and put a mustache on?
Doesn't last long
What do you
enough.
think?
A
Oh,
I was
disguise
gonna
disguise
give you a
kit?
potion of disguise
Oh,
self,
oh, yeah, no.
but only lasts 10 minutes for you.
But a disguise kit does work.
You want a mustache?
We could use the disguise kits. Yeah, let's do it.
You're allowed to use a disguise kit to do anything you like, but darken your skin. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and buy one and roll?
There's an issue there.
Yeah,
I stand out a bit. For those in chat who don't know, my character has
Do you have
excessively
points in
pale
disguise
skin.
at all?
what's up, sir?
I said, does he have points in disguise at all?
No. No, I do not.
I don't believe you.
You can roll raw.
The disguise kit is what?
Look it up.
That's all
Pathfinder disguise kit. Locks, keys, tools, and kits. Let's look up the word D for disguise. Give me that D. Boom. 50. +2. It's a +2 circumstance bonus. It has 10 uses.
All right.
All right, you guys can go ahead and
I'll
roll.
purchase that out of the funds that I have here.
So remember, when you're making a disguise kit, when you're making a disguise, if you're doing only minor details, which don't work because you know who, these people saw who you were, they got a good look at you because they were sober and watching you, and then came out and attacked you and whatnot. So, and this was a person that was standing in front of you. You know what I mean? So minor details probably doesn't work. Different gender, different race, different age, different size. Those apply penalties. So, I assume you want to roll. You're not doing a different gender, race, or age. So why don't you go ahead and
So
roll?
you know, Tesh, I only have a +2.
Do we? I mean, wait. Let's think about this. Do we really need disguises? Because the people that saw us are likely in hiding.
Yeah, no, it's only if we see them and they don't see us. You know what I mean? Just if they if they kind of see us and we see them, they might not recognize us straight away. Gives us
That's a good point. Yeah, I'll pay. Yeah,
To
might
be
as
fair,
well.
it's like you. I don't want to go on Matrix on you, but you don't know how far the rabbit hole goes.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Like,
let's
One of his mates could see you, and he happens to have talked about, like, even if it's just like a deep hood and whatnot, like, it's better than nothing.
Hey, did you see that really pale guy with a scar on his head?
We cover up the scar.
Dun, dun.
Yeah,
probably covering up the scar.
Jokes aside, you actually would probably darken your skin to be less pale. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I would just make myself look like the average parent rather than what I drained of color, which is what I look like.
Yeah, because of your past or whatever. Because you're almost supernaturally pale, like, or I'm gonna say supernaturally because that's unfair to say. You're almost like albino pale. So
yeah, the way I put it was almost unnaturally pale, but not quite that far. It's getting there though.
Okay. So what you technically go ahead and roll, and then
it's a +2.
It definitely looks like I've never seen the sun. Wait, sorry, do I roll? Or is he rolling for both of us?
You guys roll. You have to do 2 rolls, 1 for each of you.
You roll.
So it's +2 for the kit, was it, or nothing for the kit?
Yeah. Just add it on in the attempt bonus for your disguise thing.
Yep. Okay. Oh no! At least it wasn't a 1. It was nearly a 1.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to drink a potion. So.
How long does it last?
It lasts.
That's fine.
100 minutes.
100 minutes. That's 100 minutes. Oh, two times 50. Gotcha. So it's almost 2 hours. How many of those can you make?
I have. I mean, if I'm making them, you know, I can make whatever. But I have 1 in my possession.
I mean, how many extracts of that level can you make?
Oh, 5.
Okay. So you can easily maintain this for yourself. All right, cool. So Gallon is more or less pink mustache style. You get to roll with your disguise. What does that give you? +10?
Yep.
Yeah, +10.
And then the
It's
disguise.
most of it is covering up the scar. So
Cast a spell for me so I can read something really quickly.
maggot white. Ew.
So it says, it doesn't look like it says what type it is. So if that's an unnamed +10 bonus to disguise, because it looks like it's unnamed, that means that, hello. Hi, how are you? Hold on, let me mute. Okay. So, what was I saying? Brittany brought me breakfast because she's wonderful. Ham and eggs and cantaloupe.
Oh, that egg
Mm.
looks good.
But it was also a small request to end a little bit early today. But let's finish up what we're doing right here before we go. So, gonna love this time of year where there's all sorts of extra responsibilities. Moving on. So the you guys are going down there. You roll your disguise. You have to roll your disguise checks. It's gonna be a +12. If you're using a use of the disguise kit, that is yeah. Does that include the +12?
Yeah.
Without me being able to see the dice rolls, it's really painful because I never
Really
get to know-
hard to
Yeah, I was like, is that accurate? So the you could disguise yourself pretty fairly well. You know what I mean? Like the casual observer wouldn't be able to notice that it's you or whatever, right? So you are gonna make your way down there. Now you're gonna roll gather information for you to try to learn the details about like who this person is, where they are, so on and so forth. A couple details. One, are you looking for are you looking together? Are you looking separate? Are you looking for Swift? Or are you looking for the redheaded gentleman that Swift apparently has been spending time with at the docks? Are you trying to do so openly, like you don't care if people know that you're looking for them? Or are you trying to take the penalties so that you can not be noticed as easily in your search? Like, what's the angle here? And I believe the penalty for trying to go unnoticed is -10 to your diplomacy.
That's for asking around, right? I
Asking
kind
around
of
without
just
being noticed. Yeah.
I'm very much trying to sort of keep watch for the. We got well, we obviously know what Swift looks like. We got the description of the redhead. There was another person we got a description of that I can't remember. Didn't there weren't there two friends?
Nope, the redhead. That was the
Oh,
significant other.
then I'm keeping an eye out for them then.
All right, so we're focused on the docks because that is, you know, the most probable place. We'll swing by the tavern or whatever, and just we're not going to ask for him, but we'll see if maybe the redhead's in there or whatever, or or he's in there. Then we'll make our way to the docks and we'll scope the docks out. See what we can see.
So my apologies. You were saying that the redhead one, or the regular one?
We'll look for them both. But
But because you're doing multiple checks here, right? So which one are you searching for first, so on and so forth?
Well, okay, we're gonna notice if
we should stay together.
We should stay together, yeah. Well,
I mean, without
okay. Sorry.
Without like directly asking, I mean, we're keeping an eye out on both. We know what they both look like.
I'm very much trying to use perception to look for people because that's my specialty. I'm not going to be able to. I ask if I ask for him, like, where's Swift? Tell me where Swift is.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep a. Yeah. Tell me where Swift is.
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of balls in your mouth. Yeah. Marbles.
So yeah, I'm very much using perception, but so we can only look for one at a time first, or do one check then the other.
It'd be one check than the other. So the question is, if you're looking for specifically, if you're going by visual, your own perception, you looking for redhead or swift? I imagine the redhead because they stand out more.
Yeah, probably the redhead.
Okay. And Jake, while he's just more or less hanging back and looking around, I imagine you're actually asking questions. Like, hey, have you seen somebody that works down here with red hair? Have you seen a redhead around here?
Yeah, sure.
All
I'll
right.
do that.
Before you roll that, are you trying to be discreet? Like take the -10 so you can be as discreet as possible? Or are you trying to be
If I take the -10, I have no modifier. So
hey, that could be better than people knowing that you're looking. It's up to you.
what do you think, Tash?
I think being discreet means they definitely don't know where we're looking, even if we roll terribly, right? Scott?
Correct.
Yeah. In that case, I think being discreet and then going with the
unless you roll a
details.
natty one. You know what I mean?
But
yeah.
we don't do natty ones.
No. But in this scenario, unless you roll a natty one, because it's just like
All right.
it's just that you're playing it so poorly. You know.
I mean, in that case, it is just it's probably worth doing discreet and going off what little details we get.
Yeah. It's a detail. It's a difference between walking up to somebody and saying, "Hey, have you seen any redheads around here?" and walking up to somebody and saying, "Hey, can I catch a light?" Oh, thanks, man. You know, it's really weird that you don't really see many redheads in Dween, do you? It's you don't think that's weird? Oh, you know, it's like that whole hoping that somebody offers information because you bring up a subject close to versus you see the hair that be red? Where that Phoenix at? Where's Ash and Phoenix? Ash and Phoenix.
Okay, so what do you want to do? I think either way, there's positives and negatives.
Yeah, I'll just take the. I'll just take the 10 off then. All right.
Okay, you go right ahead. And then before you roll, Tush, let him roll.
All right.
But okay.
10.
Okay, so a 10 is it's not horrible. It's not great. So as a gather information, just so you know the way that the general rules work, if you're not well, wrong. I'm on the wrong disguise, not gather information. If you're looking for things that are common, rumors, whatever it is, like some basic stuff, it starts at a 10. If you're looking for secret information or whatnot, that starts at a 20, and that kind of goes up and down from there. So, do you want to modify your 10 at all before you we go over to his perception check?
Yeah, sure. Redhead at the door.
I'd say that's worth modifying because that's a pretty decent roll for. Yeah.
13.
Cool. So, you with your 13 total, that's actually really good. So I set the DC at a 12 for you. So you're actually walking around and asking the question, of more or less like I said, being very discreet, trying to bring it up, so on and so forth. And eventually, however it is you bring it up recently, unless you care to say it. No? Okay, cool.
Nope.
However it is you bring it up, the person's like one of those, you know what's funny? I actually saw a redhead not too long ago. I mean, I've only been in town for about 3 months, but this is one guy. He works down at one of the warehouses down at the docks. Honestly, I wouldn't have noticed normally, but you should see this man. He's built like a horse. He's massive, like carrying crates and whatnot that you would usually expect somebody who was a little like maybe 2 other guys to carry, but no, this man is like a house and carrying some shit around. Only one I've seen around here though. What dock did I see him over at? It doesn't matter. Down by where, you know, the military ships come and go, which is kind of funny to you because almost every ship that comes in this place is military.
Yep. I mean, that gives us information.
Yep.
I think that's pretty useful. Would we be able to have any sort of guess about which dock they meant with that? Given what we know.
Yeah, so he kind of like gestures down, like off in a direction, gives like a basic idea of where it might be, and it's kind of like it's gonna be like over in that area, which you can imagine there's a lot of warehouses here, as you like whether it be for like being for shipwright or shipping or whatever it might be, military versus. So this is a lot, but definitely points you in the right direction. And this is the thing: is it very much alters the DC of what Tesh is rolling against. So Tesh, now when you guys head down that way, you're gonna be able to go ahead and roll me your perception check.
Ooh.
Because now you're not like walking up and down the docks like, hear ye, here, you know, you actually can legit.
So not too bad actually. I forget my modifier. I always forget that. I saw a 9 and panicked.
So it is one of those things where it's, do you want to, brain's not working. Do you want to modify it? Do you feel like as though 21's good enough? It's not like you're looking for a needle in a haystack, right?
Yeah, I think 21 for a giant dude who's redhead is hopefully pretty good.
You're like looking for a PlayStation and a stack of Xboxes, you know?
Yeah.
Like it stands out, but equally disappointing, like most redheads. So, just kidding. I'm kidding.
I also like how Ash Phoenix was just like, I'm here.
So you are able to walk around the area down there, and at one point it takes you a few hours. As a matter of fact, because this is a 2-step process. Why don't I have Norwegian Green roll a D4 for the amount of time spent for Jake's roll, and then V-Sword roll a D3 for the amount of time that Tesh spent afterwards, looking around in the areas that brought the vicinity to. And
While they do that, oh sorry.
No.
I was just while they do that, we need to decide how we're going to approach this, whether we go and talk to them directly or follow them or what.
Okay. Touching what Vsword said beforehand, I assume if you are under the age of 35, your hair is not the natural color, because almost everybody I know has colored hair. Male, female, doesn't matter. Particularly girls, of course, but male, female, everybody colors their hair. My wife and I are the only people I know that have never colored their hair. Like that I know in person. Yeah.
Never colored my hair before.
And our dads. Actually, nope, my dad's. Her dad is absolutely colored his beard. So moving on. So 4 hours total. That's actually not bad, considering it could have been between 2 and 7 hours. It's not bad. So
yeah.
4 hours total for you to finally go down there. So you get down to the docks, which the dock area is pretty quickly there, Jake. Unfortunately, maybe if you spent some more time, you could have narrowed how much searching you'd have to do. But eventually, Gallon, with the use of Vigil looking about and him searching about and whatnot, eventually you were able to find the redhead that's in question. So you're not just looking for a person with red hair, to which there are actually a few of them down there. The one that really jumps out at you is the one that person was kind of describing beforehand, working at the warehouse, which kind of coincides with the information that you were looking at beforehand. Working at a warehouse, spends time at a warehouse, brick house of a man. And the easiest way to describe this person is, did you guys ever play Dream Daddy?
Voluntary. No, but I know. I think I have a complete idea of what you're going to say next because I've seen enough of it.
I love that character. I'm sorry. When I replay, that's the one I'm going for. So anyways, a big beefy guy, right? With mid-length red hair. And it doesn't have much of a beard though. Probably, it honestly looks more like he hasn't shaved in a week or two than it looks like him growing a beard. But he can grow up proper, like a real man. So, sorry, Neil. So he's down there, and you can see he's just going about his work or whatever. With the time of day, kind of judging the situation, with you guys trying to decide what it is you want to do, you know that it's getting to about midday at this point, meaning that there's definitely going to be a lunch break coming up for them, or some sort of like break time for them to go and eat food or stop by a tavern and or have a drink or whatever it might be. So it's up to you guys how you wanted to approach this. Tesh, you were just talking to Jake about that.
Yeah, so we need to decide how we're going to do this, whether we're just going to go talk to them, given our diplomacy, or whether we're going to find out where they go back to.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet, to find out where they go. And you're the stealthy one, right?
Yes. I would have to break off and then stealth, and then I can...
Honestly, you can use Vigil.
That's good point, actually. Yeah, he has plus 18 stealth, and as long as he stays within a mile, we're good.
What's his perception? Is it only 30 feet?
No, he has sight.
But you have to look at what sight means.
Yeah, no, it was described as like. Let me find
Because sight for a
again.
magic item is 30 feet.
I always say I have to open 2 different versions because they didn't put all of the information on one page.
Making your life difficult on that one.
Yeah, it's because I think they originally weren't going to have them as like a player thing, because like they've got stats as a creature, and then there's a player sheet of all the stuff for when you have it as a player.
Sighted. They have a sighted range of 40 feet.
Okay, there you go.
So that means
Yeah, and
even if they anchored themselves in a spot, they would have to stay. They can have an 80-foot diameter sphere that they can look through, right? So Vigil can move around a bit to try to stay close by. But honestly, if you're seeing somebody moving in a pattern back and forth, Vigil can easily kind of like not have them in sight at all points in time, but choose an intelligent spot to kind of like hunker down to watch as they go back and forth and back and forth. But then it's at the end of the day where you really care about the stealthing, and that's where Vigil can stay within the 40 feet or so. What's Vigil's movement speed?
30. I'm pretty sure.
And a climb speed of 20. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Because it's not like this person will be running away. Because that movement speed generally refers to like say combative movement, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're hustling. So somebody moseying their way home after work is going to be easy to catch up to. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And
So,
Vigil was
I
there when
guess
you guys got attacked, right?
Virgil was there, but not out. He was in my backpack.
So maybe did not see the person that attacked you. So if they happen to bump
But
into
we had linked minds. So
okay. So you can
telepathic
share
link.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Leave Vigil there. That frees you guys up to go do stuff for the next few hours. Do you want to start looking
As
for
long
the
as
next
we're
person?
within a mile. Let me double check on the distance. I'm pretty sure it was a mile.
And Jake,
I know we got this mixed up last time.
That took 4 hours as rolled by chat. It lasts 100 minutes each time. 4 times 60
no, it
is
doesn't. It lasts 100 minutes for the potion that I drank. Then it's 50 minutes after for the extracts.
Oh, so 100. Then it's
1 mile.
You can do how many extracts? 5.
Yeah, but
So that'd be 150, 200, 250. So 10 minutes more than the amount of time it took to succeed at this. You've drank 3 extracts at a potion so far to be able to find this person and be under your awesome disguise.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's the plan now? For the 2 of you?
We need to stay within a mile. But otherwise we can go sit down at the tavern maybe nearby and wait till they
Yeah,
get
I'd
off
agree.
work.
I'm not going to use the rest of my extracts either.
Yeah, I think now we've located the person. We'll follow them back to where they are. At that point, if they spot us, it's already a thing. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're going the more or less the boyfriend route, which is makes sense, kind of like narrowing in on them because it gives you both A, more information if needed, but also B, someone they care about to threaten the life of. I get it. Leverage is important. So you go following that avenue by kind of like hanging back and allowing poor Neil to rot in a cell somewhere. Maybe even with the extra time that you have to spend until like he gets off of work, going back and checking on the long-term care of the other person, so on and so forth, and then coming back out here.
I would
Hours
obviously
pass.
have to stay nearby, but Viggo could.
And
go.
that's fine. Vigo can go be like the
Yeah.
other responsibility, and then we'll go do that and come back. So you return. Back here, and will brain's not working. I'm so sorry. You return back here and are going to like kind of like at the tail end of the day and having Vigil watching them. I just need you to roll for me for the length of the day.
Virgil, not Vigil.
I'm so sorry. I keep saying it because Joey put it in my head once. So, Virgil, could you just roll for me 3 stealth checks for the entire time that he was there? Otherwise, you don't need to roll perception because, again, it's pretty easy. Normally, I would be mad at that, but since I can't roll watch the dice roll anyways, spam it.
Yeah, that's why I'm spamming now, because the dice aren't rolling. So
unless somebody has a plus 11 through 14 and rolls a 20, the likelihood of them seeing Virgil is extremely.
this is why I was so confident about sending him into the sewers, and that would backfired.
So, well, the fun thing about things like blind sense or blind sight is
yeah, I gotta keep in mind that that's a thing.
Or tremor sense and whatnot.
So when dealing with creatures, it's a lot more likely he'll be spotted than dealing with people.
Yeah, depending on the creatures, but yeah. So, anyways, moving on. Virgil is easily able to not get spotted and keep there the whole time. Does Virgil have eyes on him the entire time? Like I said beforehand, no. Probably has eyes on him about 70% of the time. But that's because he's going out of the field of view, or maybe 60%. But then the end of the day happens, and Virgil starts to go to follow him and gives you like the ping, like, this is where I'm going, this is where I am. Now, your characters are not going to just go walk up on the person immediately, I imagine. You want to see exactly where it is that they're returning to, right?
So, but we could start heading in that direction once we know that, like, that's the direction they're heading.
Correct. So I need how far back from Virgil are you hanging?
We can be quite a while back. Like, as I said, it has to just be within a mile. So, how many feet is in a mile? I don't know.
A mile is 5,260 feet, I think.
Holy fuck! Okay. Yeah, then I guess, for the sake of throwing a number out there, let's say 3,000 feet behind.
Okay, so you're saying 300 feet?
No, well, further than that, because we don't need to be within sight.
What did you just say? 300?
I said 3,000 because you said 5,000.
Oh, more than half a mile. 3,000 feet is pretty far away. You know, especially in a city.
Well, the idea is that we're not. I don't want to alert them to the fact that, hey, these people are heading your direction.
You are perfectly fine. That just means you're not within distance that you can easily jog up to them. It'd be several minutes to jog up to them, which is fine. Again, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So Virgil's doing this. I need you to go ahead and roll a stealth check for Virgil, following after them, and then just because occasionally they're gonna cut corners, and whatnot, then just a perception check for Virgil.
Okay, the perception check.
Perception
could be interesting.
It's the lowest DC of them all by far.
Oh, yay!
Cool. It's just to introduce an opportunity for Virgil to fail, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a very high DC. So you easily defeated
That's my best roll all night.
You easily defeated it and are able to get Virgil to follow them. And funny enough, they actually do make their way to a tavern. And when they make their way to the tavern, Virgil can actually see that they go to a tavern and they pop into the tavern a little bit. Now, here's the fun part about you hanging back as far as you did, because that information is actually a little old. As you continue walking forward, like, okay, we know where it is. We start heading in that direction there. About 3 or 4 minutes pass, and you guys are getting to within a few, like a couple hundred feet of where this is. So a couple blocks away. When all of a sudden Virgil says, who stayed outside the tavern, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's not words, it's images, right? You get a flash image of them leaving the tavern, and then another flash image or thoughts and whatnot of them like being on the move and actually going to an alleyway next to the tavern that they walked into. Whereas if you were just behind them, you could have walked into the tavern behind them and kind of screwed it up. So Virgil then sends you the thought of a question, like, should I follow?
Oh, yes.
One more stealth check. The likelihood of you failing again is extremely small.
It's lower.
That's actually a number I might be able to beat.
same.
It's a number I can actually, I might actually be able to beat.
Can I luck
It
it?
might be worth. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna luck it, just in case. Okay.
There you go.
That's gonna be really hard because it's like a -5. Can I even beat that with a +20? Give me 1 second. I can match it, which PCs win. Nope. I can't beat that. I take a -5 for being distracted. So, because I'm not actively looking for it, right?
That is worth. That is worth a luck die.
Yep.
I'm sorry I used the last one, but that was worth it.
Again, it's one of those things where
You're good.
I take a -5. I can't beat that. So, moving on. So it goes walking. Virgil follows in afterwards, and no, you don't need to make a perception check. You're actually able to see that they say there are people here rolling dice onto a flat surface.
Okay, so they're playing dice and gambling, is what I tell Viggo.
See if he's there. Share, you know,
Uh,
share your
uh,
image.
uh, yeah, I'm gonna basically
Reping.
say, reping, say like with the thought like look for the guy Wilfer or Swift.
So what you are going to do is you're going to kind of like walk in there. It's going to walk in there, and it's going to then. It's one of those things where it's silence for like a minute or so, and you guys are coming to the point where now you can see the tavern's front door, and you're slowing down, walking up, and all of a sudden you get an image, a flash image. It's the person that assaulted you right there. It's one of those
Is
images where you can actually see the person that assaulted you right there. The big guy went over, and they're standing like nearby behind, just kind of leaning against the wall watching.
Okay, perfect. So this alleyway, from what Virgil can see, because image in mind thing, is the other exit onto like the other side of the alleyway onto a road or onto a street, rather. Somewhere where we can ask the guards to go and block off, basically.
Gotcha, I understand.
We should have the guards move in and do the rest. To be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Get them to go block off the other end. We'll cover this end. We'll go in for the arrest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it does have an opening on the other side.
Perfect. Then
It's a dock area, so
guards.
you can imagine that it's not like it's a open street over there. It's like an alleyway into another alleyway between buildings. When I say alleyway, I mean like space between buildings, right? So, but yep, you can tell the guards to go around the other way. Unless you want the guards to walk dead on here, and you guys are the ones that sneak around back.
That might not be a bad idea, because then we can make sure that we catch
The
the
guards
one
should
we want.
make the arrest. We've investigated, found out we have a lead on
so
it.
you should
but
go
they
around
should be
back.
the ones to make the
what I'm
arrest.
saying is, we'll go around back to make sure he doesn't get away, because we can.
Yep.
If he tries to jump out that way, we can get him.
I'm gonna
Otherwise, the
warn
guards,
the guards
will come
about-
down that way to arrest him. Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna warn the guards about how big this guy is too. Because
I'm gonna inform them.
He might
I'm
be
gonna inform them
starting
how many
something.
people are there. How many people are there?
So it's one of those things you ask Vigil that. Vigil takes a moment, then sends you like an image in your mind. You can see that playing the actual dice game, there are 5 people. And then there are, for people kind of like standing around watching, there's now 3. So a grand total of 8 people.
Yeah. So the reason why I wanted us to sort of do the walk down the alley and them to block the exit is I'm more scared that these people were like, oh, 2 guards, we can take them, sort of thing, is what I'm worried.
well, they should get more guards.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that as well.
Okay, we'll ask them to get more guards. Then we'll keep an eye on things, and then
Yeah. So when you tell them
Walk
that, the guards say, one of the guards says, "Yeah, not a bad idea. All right, I'll head off and get them. You just keep an eye here," saying it to the 2 of you and the other guard that's staying behind.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Go ahead and can you actively see through Vigil's eyes when you want to? Can you shift your perception like in
no.
5e with a familiar? I can't remember.
So it's not quite like that. I remember
Okay, I
we
didn't
had
think-
this
I didn't think
discussion. It's
so.
a telepathic link.
Yeah.
I can sight link later down with and that's like remote viewing. So it's telepathic link, not sight link.
Okay.
That comes later.
Let me look at Vigil's character sheet real quickly. Virgil's character sheet real quickly before I do anything else.
Yeah, God damn it. I made Virgil without thinking that name had any issues. Same with Galen, but somehow immediately in session 1, I was like, oh, I have regrets.
Virgil can roll a knowledge local check.
Cool. And he gets half the level, so that's an extra +2.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, is it rounded up? Let me... Knowledge data. It just says half his level, so I assume that's rounded down then. Is that correct?
Always round down.
Yeah. Okay. So this is I it should say underneath. Oh, it doesn't. So that's really good. That's now 223 total.
Virgil explains to you. They're playing a game. They're playing a dice game. It goes by several names: gem dice, precious, etc. That is pretty popular. It's each round tends to last a few minutes, and usually the bets will scale depending on how interested people are and invested they are into it. You can't easily step out after a round, so you have to announce that you're stepping out before you get here. Since I came into the alley, what's his name, Wilfer, has not announced that they're Swift has not announced that they're stepping out yet. You have at least several minutes before they do so. They inform me that.
I'll relay that to Viggo when I assume Jake can hear.
Yeah. Oh, this Percy, he's so cute.
Oh, Percy, that was so adorable.
Such a cute little cat. So you so after like 15, 20 minutes or so, eventually Virgil says, Swift gave the signal to bounce out. Can you roll Virgil's sense motive?
I don't know if he has a sense motive to roll.
Mhm.
No.
He can still roll
He
it.
doesn't have a sense motive to roll.
He can still roll it. He's got a brain.
How do I roll it?
Give me 2 seconds.
It's not a skill.
It is if you put even one mark onto it. So what you do is you go down to sense motive, and you just put like a period next to it, or like a space.
Oh, okay.
And then when you close it up, it'll appear. There you go.
There we go. Go. Oh, yep, nope.
Okay, that gives you nothing. All I was able to tell you is, seems as though Swift has won several hands, looking to leave on the up.
I'll relay that to Viggo. I'll relay that to Viggo, and then also turn to the gun. How long till backup?
Maybe another 10, 15.
Oh, okay. So not long enough.
Jeez, you don't have guard posts around here, man.
He looks at you and says, "You have any idea how big McGlynn is?"
Could have a lot of guard posts then.
He's like, "You gonna join the guard?"
I'm in the military.
Oh,
That's what I thought.
Which
Maybe I will.
which direction is
Pulls
he
up his
leaving?
pen.
Backwards or forwards?
What was that?
We should probably get around to the other side because I think he's probably leaving that way, isn't he? Which direction? He didn't enter the front way, did he?
You just saw the redhead enter the front way.
Yeah.
So
So-
which would be the way back into the tavern if that's where he's going.
Which way does it look like he's going?
You have no idea. All he said so far is that they gave the signs he's gonna be leaving number 15.
Okay. I can go around the other side, try and make sure he doesn't leave that way until guards show up. What do you think? We don't have long.
Chat. Okay, Jake, answer.
What did you say, Yantash?
Said I can go around the other side, make sure he doesn't leave that way until guards show up, but we don't have long.
Yeah, well, when he comes out, this lone guard is going to have to, start, like, more or less call him over to talk to him and tell him he's under arrest or whatever. And we'll have to back him up. If that happens.
The issue is I'm worried about him running.
I
he
can
will run.
stay invisible. But then it'll look like less people.
Okay.
We don't have Triss with us, and this guy looks like he's a large beast. So
We got a big dude.
Plan was good if I would have known it was 15 minutes for the guards to come.
Yeah, I was gonna
say.
say I didn't think it was gonna take that long to get back up.
Yeah,
thought it'd be a
5
couple
maybe,
minutes at
but,
most.
So what's the
Are there
plan,
no
boys?
wandering guard patrols? I feel like that you're stacking this, Scott.
Well, I'm waiting to roll the dice, but I need to know what your plan is.
Well, when if he leaves, if
realistically-
he comes out, we have to stop him. He has to
Yeah.
be stopped.
So this
Yeah.
guard's coming this way. And
Yep.
are you guys going the other way, or are you going with? What's the plan?
Okay, you know what? I have an idea. The alley, so there's the alleyway that they're in. The next alleyway over, can I go in?
Are you going in the back way? Is what you're saying?
No, what I'm going to do is go. If I can get into an alley that's one alley over, I'm going to go in, suit up, climb up, collect Virgil from the roof, and then then I can go whichever way he decides to try and run.
That's fine. You could always suit up and go up there. That's fine. But that leaves. So is
Yeah.
Jake going to go with this guard, or is Jake going to go to the back way by himself?
No, you should go with the guard at the very least, because where I want to go is I want to go on the roof,
Yeah.
so I can quickly choose which side he's running to.
Yeah,
if he's
you're
going
good.
to engage you, I drop down and help fight. If he's going to
Yep.
run away, I chase.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'll go with the guard.
Yeah, so I'm going to go around and up onto the roof and collect Virgil.
So you're gonna go up there, and so you suit up. Stealth check, climb check. Actually, you have a climb speed, so you don't need a climb check, do you?
I can just switch to a climb speed. Yeah,
Okay, so stealth check. And
actually, I can
chat,
switch
they
to a
had
fly
stacked this up
speed.
in such a stacked this up in their favor, seeing it well in advance, alerting the other guards well in advance, so on and so forth. So the odds of the guards showing up in time to assist them are actually very high. So I'm gonna have somebody roll me a D100, and the likelihood of the guards actually showing up on time is I would say it's an 80% chance. The likelihood of the guards showing up just afterwards is a 10% chance, and the likelihood of the guards showing up too late is a 10% chance. It looks like Midnight Toker wants to roll that D100. Let's say that too late is 1 to 10, just barely is 11 to 20. And then 21 and higher is the guards are there on time. You're fine.
Yeah, just a second. I'm checking all the buffs.
They got the odds were very much in their favor.
Yeah. And pardon me. Four ranks. Where's that 2 from?
Exclamation point D100 return.
Okay. Now I can actually. What's cool is I can climb up and then switch to chameleon once I'm on the roof, which improves my stealth. So I'm going to do that.
Neil,
Do your
why
thing.
don't you go ahead and roll it in chat instead? Because it's taking a minute.
Oh, fuck! This is the problem. Of I don't remember which chameleon buff is which. No, that's chameleon from Stone. So that's not the one I'm using.
What was it? A slash.
Actually, no. I can still use that. Never mind. I
You
am
can do
going
it
to
in
use
Twitch chat.
chameleon.
You can do it in Twitch chat, Neil.
Yeah. Do you want me to do it in Twitch check?
Yeah, I was just saying because to get it moving because I was.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
You're good, sir.
Yeah.
We're doing other things over here.
Okay. This
Okay.
is fun.
You guys
You
are
want
the
to see
clear.
what my stealth
So,
is now?
As you're up, yeah, go ahead and roll your stealth, and I'll narrate.
So this is my stealth now.
Jesus, with a natty 22. So,
Yeah.
You easily get up there. Nobody notices or anything whatsoever. Jake, as you guys are walking towards the thing, like literally as you're walking up to it, the game is going to be ending in the next minute or two. The guards come walking up, joining you. A dozen more guards come over here, meaning that you have you plus 13 guards. Sorry, a dozen more. So you plus 14 guards, because the 2 plus a dozen, 14 guards come over and start walking up to the area. As you guys go walking up, one of the guards, because now it's like there's so many of you, it's easily noticed that you're arriving. One of the other guards actually looks to you, the one that left to go get the others, comes back and says, "I thought the plan was for you two to be on the other side." So they say to Viggo.
It was, but we weren't. We got the signal that they were
Damn
about
it.
to leave.
You 6, run around the other way, quick. So they can start like trying to hoof it around the other way, but they'll probably
Yeah.
get there after these ones arrive because now the plan has deviated from the original. So they start making their way up, and the guards go walking in. Immediately, people at the table like jump up. You know what I mean? Because this game is illegal. Illegal gambling in the side alley. So there's one of those things where the guards go walk out and they go, "Hey!" And the people just jump up immediately. Swift, of course, like quickly looks back, sees the guards, reaches out, grabs his winnings off of the table, which makes the other people at the table be like, "What the hell are you doing?" And they jump up, and the guards like, "We need to have a word with Swift," pointing at him. And Swift is like, "Oh hell no!" and pulls out a crossbow.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Could I? Because I've been watching all this happen. Can I try and hit the crossbow?
Yeah.
Yeah. While that was happening, I ate.
So
An
is he
extra.
within 30 feet of me?
I ate it.
Yeah. You're only on a
80
roof.
feet.
It's on a skyscraper.
Yeah. So
What's up, Jake?
I'm gonna try and hit the crossbow out of his hand.
Okay. Don't worry, Midnight.
I am assuming that hits the crossbow.
Damage. Do you have that feat that allows you to do that, by the way? That allows you to sunder with a arrow?
Oh no, I didn't know it was a feat. In 5e you normally call it, and you like the DM changes the DC depending on what you're aiming for.
Yeah, no. So and even that's an optional rule. That's not core rules. So anyways, the
Okay.
which is fine. So let's just change the narration for this so we can just keep pushing forward, because like I said, I was trying to end a little bit early. So taking a -4, that 27 counts as a 23. It's non-lethal damage. You shot at the crossbow, so more or less you did damage to the guy, if you will. You know what I mean? For the sake of, I don't know if you remember correctly, but it's 20 health points of damage is where you dropped the people beforehand. So yeah, you did 18, which is when
No,
people
I
ran away from the other combat. 18 damage.
I was about to say I
Yeah.
did 18 both
Two
times.
of them. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah,
I'm
needless to
very
say,
consistent, at least.
you shoot him, and this for narrative purposes. You throw down, you hit him kind of like in the forearms, and this guy, and he drops the crossbow, and the guards come rushing up to grab him, and he looks to the guy with red hair, being like, "Help, get him!" And the guy with the red hair is like, "Whoa, hold up, I don't know you that well," and starts stepping back and goes, "No problems here, guards. No problems here." And it's one of those things where you guys misread that man. It's not his fault. He's a large, beefy, sexy boy. Okay? It's not his fault. That doesn't mean he's going to put up a fight. He could just be a nice person that works hard at his job.
We just knew that if he did put up a fight, he was gonna hurt.
Poor Eric gets mischaracterized this way all the time.
Given that it looks like things are over, I'm gonna drop suit and actually drop down into the alley once the guards move up.
Go ahead and roll
I'm
me
gonna pick up
acrobatics for the drop.
crossbow in front of him.
Yep, I imagine you very swiftly, as soon as the thing hits and the guards are stepping forward, you swiftly move up past the guards. It's one of those things where you just kind of like run up quickly and just grab up the crossbow and start back it up. And let the guards come in and do the actual apprehension. All right, cool. You were able to drop down there and not take any damage from the fall. As you, it's not the most graceful drop, but it's one of those like, try, you know. And then the guy with the red hair is just like, what the, like looking around, like people are dropping from the sky. Like, what the hell is going on? He's like, he says to the person that's literally being thrown into manacles as you speak. He's like, yeah, I think it's time we don't anymore. I'm good. The guards come in here and end up arresting everybody involved because there was illegal gambling happening. Two of the other people that were gambling are freaking out, saying that this is some sort of ploy by Swift to steal the money because he was clearly cheating at the game. That's how he got all the money. He's like, what cut are they giving you? What cut are they giving you? And Swift eventually gets so annoyed. He's like, sharing him with this many? Like how many? What kind of split is that? Like,
Is this in a room or in
no?
an
This is
alley?
this is an alley.
This is an alley. Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
completely.
so they were just gambling in an alley. Yeah.
Yeah, they completely
Yeah.
they apprehend all of them, and it goes that easily. They bring them all back to the station to arrest
Hopefully
them.
that gets us some extra brownie points with Guard Commando, taking down illegal gambling as well.
Yep. It's one of those things where he comes in and you see him. It's not even. What is it? It's the next nighttime. So again, 24 hours later.
Yeah.
Poor Neil only a day into his thing, but not only do you have him apprehended, but the guard captain looks at you and goes, "Well, the guy that was feeling kind of sick is a bit stronger. He's been housing anything we'd put in his cell, so he's feeling better. Looks like you caught some gambling, so thank you for that one. And it looks like you have someone else to interrogate. Listen, I can't go back on rules as rules, right? So I got to keep Tristan here, but I'll release him for the next interrogation. All right?"
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He nods, but we'll have to do that next week.
Yes.
So, but don't worry, Neil, you're not getting cut out of the session. So, all right, cool. Exciting. All right.
Hey, something went to plan for once. So
I know. What the
I
hell?
want to put that out there.
Thank you, chat, for
deviated.
rolling what you needed to
deviated.
roll.
It's a good plan. It's a good plan. If you didn't deviate at all, it would have been even
Yeah.
more perfect. But you guys have powers to save you. So
Yeah, this is this situation was exactly what I had in mind when I chose the crystal warrior with the psi crystal containment. I'm like, I want to be able to have like Virgil follow people and like track them down ahead of us and shit like that. So I got tired of failing stealth so much that now I kind of have the same stealth as him.
Oh, this guy's heavily injured too, right?
No, uninjured. Well, yes, my apologies. Non-lethal damage is how we just narratively did what Tesh is asking for. Which means
his
heals,
arm is hurting.
he heals his level an hour. So let's assume he's like a level 2 fighter or warrior or whatever. In 9 hours, his arms will be fine. You can imagine by the time you go to interrogate him, an hour has passed, maybe 2 hours have passed. But
yeah, I imagine it's the sort of like thing that like if you're holding something and it gets wrenched out of your hands insanely fast and hard,
it hurts.
That
exactly.
fucking hurts your arms.
Exactly.
Oh, can I ask one thing though before we end?
Sure.
Is this this crossbow is it magical?
No, it's Stalingrad.
Yeah, it's not magical. I already have one. Now I have two.
Let's see which upgrades it has, and we'll talk about that.
Remember, this is a family heirloom. We might not take this. This might be the
I
key.
might not take this. I might not.
I mean, it already got injured by.
He
him
actually has a
throwing
good point. Yeah, I did kind of damage it. I apologize. But you can fix that.
Notice how the British person cares about family heirlooms. Like, excuse me, this was rightfully stolen from somebody else's land. It's an heirloom. Okay.
Finders keepers.
Mind you, we're living in somebody else's land.
When we're not live, I need to tell you about my favorite TikTok joke about England that I saw, but I can't say it while we're live.
Spicy boys. Okay. Let's end the stream. The only person I know that's streaming right now is Geef, so we're gonna raid Geef. Thank you everybody so much. I'll see you tonight on Lost Initiative, and we are playing next week. Okay. Thank you everybody. Bye bye.
Let's go to bed.
Okay, baby.